Now at 6, a major blow to the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. We're going to break down the Supreme Court ruling blocking the National Guard's deployment in Chicago.
Chicago's budget battle is over. We lay out what you will pay for in the new plan.
Plus, Illinois and more than a dozen other states are suing to block federal funding cuts for gender-affirming care.
And taking a live look outside this morning, Santa is going to need Rudolph's nose more than ever this Christmas Eve. Going to be a foggy one. Oh, just like the song.
I know, right? Couldn't be more holiday than that. Good morning. I'm Natalie Bomke.
I'm Anthony Ponce. Let's head straight over to Mike Caplan. Yeah, then one foggy Christmas Eve.
Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright,
he's going to need that
sleigh tonight. I'm glad you pointed that out. It's true. Well, we are going to have fog out there later tonight. Good morning, everybody. On this Christmas Eve, we may start with a little bit of filtered sunshine out there, but the clouds are going to be thickening up as a low cloud deck advances in from the south. Yesterday, oh my gosh, was it spectacular or what? Made it in the low 50s. Today, we're going to have to settle for mid 40s. I think we'll hit right around 44 this afternoon. It's not going to get that cold here later this evening. We got 34 at O'Hare right now, a little bit of a northeast wind at 7, so the wind chill is 28 degrees. Some other current temperatures, we've got 38 at Midway, but only 26 at Joliet, 36 at Waukegan, 33 at LaSalle, 30 at Valparaiso, and also Michigan City. No, you're following some developments on the Kennedy, Gabriella.
Mike, and we're still waiting for confirmation from Illinois State Police right now, but there's reports of a possible shooting investigation happening on the outbound side of the Kennedy. Now this would be near North Avenue, and Google Maps right now is showing me that the outbound side of the Kennedy is blocked, starting at North Avenue all the way to around, well, a couple of exits past, but I'll get you an exact location when Skyfox gets up here in the next few minutes. So my next report should have more info. But just know that this could be obviously put a hitch in your plans to go to O'Hare this morning or go outbound in general for your Christmas Eve plan. So please be aware, get an early start right now. This is your warning. And again, we'll get you more information soon. On the inbound side of the Kennedy, there's a crash reported. It's after Belmont Avenue. This is in the local lanes, not in the express lane, so that's the good news. Other than that, your drive times are looking okay. Again, outbound Kennedy, just make sure you leave some extra time. I'll send it back to you, too.
All right, thank you very much, Gabby. The Supreme Court rejects President Trump's effort to put National Guard troops on the streets of Chicago.
Roseanne has more on this setback for the Trump administration. Roseanne.
Well, good morning. Governor Pritzker calls this a big win that stops an abuse of power. Mayor Johnson also welcoming this ruling, saying that it rebukes the president's attempts to militarize our city. Now, right now, some 300 National Guard troops are under President Trump's control here in northern Illinois. He wanted to deploy them to assist federal officers in immigration enforcement, but the High Court rejected it, saying the government has failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois. Well, Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth also reacting, releasing a joint statement saying it's long past time for the Trump administration to back off Chicago. The majority of Americans believe they've gone too far, and even the Supreme Court's conservative supermajority refused to greenlight this blatantly unlawful overreach. Conservative justices dissenting in this case, Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, also Neil Gorsuch. But this decision, everyone's saying, could have a big impact on the deployment or potential deployment of National Guard troops in many other cities as well. In Chicago this morning, Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Okay, Roseanne, thank you. 6:03, this comes as a new investigation from Block Club Chicago reveals that ICE arrests in Illinois have outpaced almost every other state in the country. Immigration and Customs Enforcement data show that agents arrested nearly 210,000 people nationwide, including more than 3,300 in Illinois. Agents arrested people as young as 4 and as old as 75. 60% of the arrests did not involve a criminal charge or a conviction.
Pope Leo XIV is publicly expressing his disapproval of Illinois' right-to-die legislation. The governor signed the so-called Debs Law this month that lets a terminally ill patient who meets certain conditions and has a doctor's approval to ask for a prescription for medication to pass away peacefully on their own terms. On Tuesday, the Pope said he's very disappointed by the decision, and he claims he urged the governor not to sign the bill. This morning, Chicago's budget is moving ahead, but interestingly enough, without the mayor's signature.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says he will not veto this, but he will not sign it either. Brian Jackson joins us now with what comes next here. Brian.
Well, this means that the budget will go into effect in the new year as currently passed by the city council. The current plan raises cloud computing tax. It also increases the plastic bag fee and allows video gambling in bars and restaurants. The mayor says that he opposes expanded debt collection and has signed an order to exempt medical debt for emergency and outpatient care.
So yes, we added some taxes to the largest corporations along with new safeguards, and we ensured that the PPLT was increased. So we have a lot to be proud of, and we still have a lot of work to do. It's like my mother would say after we would clean the house on Saturday mornings. When we thought we were done, she would say, "That's a good start."
Some city council members say that this is another sign of the mayor's leadership ability is slipping, but the mayor pushed back on that notion. And now the city council has another proposal to consider. Minutes after they approved the budget, a resolution was introduced to create a special tourism district. It would be funded by a 1.5% surcharge on hotel stays. And according to Cranes, downtown hotel owners actually want to tax themselves. That money would then go towards getting big conventions into town, and that means more heads in beds, and in turn, more spending on tourism. Now, this is something that Mayor Johnson does support, and proponents of the bill hope that it will pass the council later this spring. Natalie?
Brian, Paws Chicago confirms that a dog that tested positive for rabies was in their care over the summer, came from one of their partner shelters in Georgia, was given vaccinations in June and adopted in July. But just days ago, the family who adopted it said the dog bit one of them, so they brought it back for a risk assessment, and ultimately vets at Paws decided to euthanize the dog. It was diagnosed with rabies after post-mortem testing. This is the first positive rabies case in Cook County since before 1964, and the first in Illinois since 1994.
New this morning, Illinois and 18 other states, they are suing to block the Trump administration from stripping funds for some gender-affirming care. The plan would cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments to any hospital that provides minors with gender-related treatments. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has called those treatments malpractice, but the states are arguing the job of regulating medical practice belongs to the states and not to the federal government. It has been a special season for the Bears, indeed, as they have earned their first playoff berth in 5 years. And a byproduct of that turnaround, Pro Bowl selection.
This is so exciting, right? Last year, the Bears just had one player elected. This year, they had 10, and 3 made it in. That is the most since 2019. Safety Kevin Byard earned his third career Pro Bowl selection after finishing 5th among all players in fan voting. That counts for 1/3 of the final Pro Bowl vote.
Obviously, whenever you're recognized for the season that I've had and our players had, it means a whole lot. Definitely wish we had a lot more guys in there. I think we had a lot more guys on this team that was deservingly and rightfully so should have got in. But no, man, it's an honor and just to be recognized for my peers, coaches, and obviously, the fans. Top 5 and overall votes was pretty crazy, and it was obviously incredible to see. But I'm honored for sure.
In the offseason, the Bears added Drew Dolman and Joe Thuney to their offensive line, and that has paid off with a Pro Bowl nod for each of them. The Pro Bowl games are the week of the Super Bowl on February 3rd in San Francisco.
And the Bears' success, Bears' success on the field proving to be a Christmas miracle for a Houston-based company. You will recall this video from over the weekend. Bears receiver DJ Moore Saturday celebrating the victory over the Cheeseheads of Green Bay by rocking that giant foam cheese grater hat. I believe Caleb Williams had one of those on as well. Now, the company that owns the Grater Head hat, Grater, A-T-R-E-R, says it's been on the market for some time now, but this newfound success is actually the perfect dose of revenge.
Funny story about the cheese grater is that this all started because we had our own version of a cheese hat. We didn't make it with the intention of selling to Green Bay Packers, but a lot of Green Bay Packers used to buy a lot through Amazon or website or whatnot. And we end up getting a cease and desist letter from the Green Bay Packers. So when this happened, I had to stop selling those, and I was a little bit pissed. So as a payback, we came up with the design of making our own cheese grater hat, and well, this is like the best revenge that we could ever had.
I love it. I mean, he's a straight shooter. He is now filling over 3,000 orders, mostly headed up here to the Chicago area. So guys, I expect a sea of those things in the crowd, from here on.
Right.
Supposing the shipping comes through.
Well, what if the Bears play the Packers in the opening round of the playoffs, which is a distinct
that's a possibility.
Every fan should have
You're going to
one.
have the graters on one side and the cheese blocks on the other. So that'll be quite the visual.
It sure will, sure will. You were bringing up Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know, there's a strong Chicago connection to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. A guy by the name of Robert May wrote a story about Rudolph, and he wrote it for the Chicago-based company Montgomery Ward.
Yes.
And the reason why he picked a reindeer to kind of be the character, his daughter loved the deer at the Lincoln Park Zoo. So how about that? Love seeing the deer out there.
Impress your
so there
friends
you
with that
have
trivia.
it.
Thank you.
And as Anthony pointed out, it is going to be a foggy night. So with that nose so bright, Rudolph is going to be doing some work tonight. All right, clouds, fog, drizzle, a little bit of light rain at times through Christmas. Mainly, and particularly tomorrow, just kind of a gray day. There's going to be a little sun this morning. Temperatures, though, remain above normal, just not as warm as they were yesterday, especially today and tomorrow. But I think we may get another couple 50s in there Friday and Saturday. We do get a shot of cold air early next week. That will be moving in during the day Sunday and likely be with us Monday and Tuesday. Right now, what I'm forecasting for highs today, mainly mid-40s. I think we'll hit 44 at O'Hare and Aurora, 45 at Midway and Chicago Heights, LaSalle, Peru. It'll be mid-40s in Northwest Indiana, Merrillville, and Valparaiso. A shot at getting to 50, though, Friday and Saturday. I'll let you know when I think actual rain is most likely. Not much expected, but maybe enough to keep things damp here, especially tonight later on. Natalie, Anthony?
Thank you, Mike. Well, it is Christmas Eve, and hopefully most of you have your Christmas shopping done by now.
But there is hope for all of us procrastinators. You've got one last chance to squeeze in some shopping today. Early birds will be at the Chicago Premium Outlets and Woodfield Mall, both open in less than 2 hours. They open 8 a.m.
Or if you just need to get away from your family,
There you go.
visiting for the holidays, go walk the mall.
Just take it slow.
Yeah.
Take your time. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's right, Anthony. And here's your invitation to start 2026 off right with Fox Chicago. You can join Anita Blanton and Jake Hamilton live from Tao's Chicago nightclub as we celebrate New Year's from Times Square to Texas with performances by Bun B, Cupid, Cleo Fox, and many more. Fox Local New Year's Eve Live. The party starts at 10 p.m. on Fox 32 and Fox Local Chicago.
Welcome back. The U.S. is building up military operations in the Caribbean. Tracking data reviewed by the New York Times shows that cargo planes that are used to transport troops and equipment flew to Puerto Rico at least 16 times. And this all comes as the Coast Guard works to seize a third sanctioned oil tanker right off the coast of Venezuela.
The Justice Department has released 11,000 new files related to the sex trafficking investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Among them is a 2020 email from a U.S. attorney saying President Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times between 1993 and 1996, more than we knew before. The Justice Department says the files also include untrue and sensationalist claims about Trump. At least 2 people are dead after 2 explosions at a nursing home in Pennsylvania happened in Bristol Township, about 30 miles, northeast of Philadelphia. Crews were already in that area after getting reports about a natural gas leak. The building blew up while they were searching for that leak. The second explosion happened just minutes after that.
All right, 6:16. Time to get another check at this Christmas Eve forecast with Mike Caplan. Well, foggy one, huh?
Yeah, especially tonight. And I think the thickest fog is going to be south of I-80. So that might, Santa may have to go a little bit more slowly, passing through, Joliet, Kankakee, those areas might be just a little bit slower. Tinley Park, you're getting yours there, too. It's just, he wants to proceed slowly. Sure. Safety is always his primary concern. All right, let's talk about the clouds that are on the way. Right now, we have mainly mid and high-level cloud cover. It should be thin enough to at least afford a fairly bright morning. These are the low clouds. Those will be coming in here late this afternoon. By sunset, we're blanketed in that stratus, that low gray, icky cloudiness that may produce a few sprinkles, a little drizzle, maybe an actual rain shower, but it's not a lot. Fog, again, I think it's going to be most prevalent south of I-80, but tomorrow looks like a pretty murky Christmas day, maybe a few peaks of sunshine. Our computer model has actually done very well recently in kind of determining where that sunshine is going to break out. It nailed it yesterday, and that's why I changed my forecast kind of midstream yesterday. Tomorrow night, late, there will also be a few rain showers cruising through, but I think by daybreak Friday, that rain is out of here. And on Friday, we have a pretty decent chance of getting up to around 50 degrees. Today, you're going to have to settle for 44. Drizzle late, but more towards evening hours. Drizzle, some fog, maybe a patchy light rain shower with a low of 40, so not much of a temperature drop. High of only 42 for Christmas, 50 though on Friday and Saturday, maybe a rain shower Saturday night. The midnight temperature will be the high for the day on Sunday. Monday's high only 24 degrees. All right, what's going on? Sky Fox is flying. Do we know anything more about the Kennedy?
Mike, this is great that Sky Fox is flying this morning because it gives us an advantage to know what's exactly is happening on the roads. So I was telling you about that possible shooting on the outbound side of the Kennedy. We're still waiting for Illinois State Police to get back to me to confirm the shooting, but luckily we're not seeing a block of the outbound Kennedy, a canvas just yet. So we're waiting to hear more reports on when that could be happening. It should start at North Avenue and be blocked there on the outbound side. Inbound, there is that earlier crash at Belmont. It was blocking a left lane. Sky Fox just went over. It looks like they're in the finishing stages of getting that cleaned up. So I'm going to say that's clear. Lucky your drive times are looking okay right now. There is another vehicle fire. Or earlier vehicle fire, I should say, inbound side of the Dan Ryan in the local lanes at 47th Street was blocking a couple lanes. Looks like now it is clear and no more stop and go traffic as you approach that area. I'll send it back to you two for now.
Okay, thank you, Gabby. Appreciate it. Well, long delayed government reports on GDP numbers show that the U.S. economy actually grew faster than expected this past quarter.
This is the strongest report we've seen in years. Chelsea Torres has more from Washington.
New data from the Commerce Department shows the U.S. economy grew 4.3% in the third quarter, outpacing expectations and marking the strongest growth in nearly 2 years.
If you look at the data the last couple of months, that is rising for working families in our country.
The growth was driven by consumer spending, including a strong start to holiday shopping, even with high prices.
The point is that President Trump's policies are working, and they're very visibly working now because we've seen the data.
Supporters say the numbers show the economy is responding, but others are watching to see whether it translates into lower costs for consumers.
Bottom line is growth is up in Trump's first year back in office, and inflation is down. So these are numbers that the Trump administration should be very proud of.
That growth in revenue is also being felt in the data, with supporters pointing to rising output and cooling inflation as signs the economy is moving in the right direction.
Productivity is running over 3%, and the private economy, Ed, grew almost 5% over the past 2 quarters.
Chelsea Torres joins us live from Washington today. And Chelsea, some economists have been warning that we are on the brink of a recession, but this report sounds sunny side up. I mean, do you think that this will change it? And maybe it does or doesn't tell the whole story?
It doesn't tell the whole story, mind you. These are third quarter numbers that came out pretty late because of the government shutdown. So they're looking at July, August, and September. But economists and analysts overall were very surprised by these numbers. They definitely did not see them to be this high. When we look at what this is really encompassing, it's about 70% of consumer spending. We also know that exports are up and imports are down. And so really at this point, it's looking ahead to see what will happen into the new year. A lot of people been asking, are the feds going to cut or raise interest rates? As of right now, it's really just a wait and see kind of stance as they pay attention to what the inflation numbers do, especially heading into the new year.
Okay, how about unemployment, though? The rate continues to go up. It's ticking up. Do we think this expanded growth and this surprising numbers are strong enough to create more jobs, Chelsea?
That's the hope as of right now. You know, I mean, not only that, but when you have such strong GDP numbers, that also shows that private businesses could also be doing well. Again, we look at consumer spending, we look at inflation. Even gas prices right now are pretty low, especially in the last 5 years, according to Gas Buddy. So overall, the economy is looking strong. But again, it really is just a wait and see, and also a wait and see to what happens to the fourth quarter numbers and if these third quarter numbers do not change and if they remain where they're at.
Okay, Chelsea Torres from Washington this morning. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, this holiday season is expected to drive, kind of on the flip side here, unprecedented fraud due to a surge in AI. We will run through coming up how you can protect yourself.
First, though, it is the season of giving. Fox 32 Chicago, PNC Bank, and the Chicago Bears are teaming up with the Greater Chicago Food Depository to help feed local families in need. And you can help out by going online to chicagosfoodbank.org.
Hold on to every memory this
The U.S. Supreme Court is refusing to allow President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops here to Chicago.
The Supreme Court says the federal government failed to provide a reason for the military deployment and would not overturn a lower court ruling. This is not a final ruling, however, but it could impact other lawsuits surrounding the National Guard.
Illinois and 18 other states are suing to block the Trump administration from stripping funds for some gender-affirming care. The plan would cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments to any hospital that provides minors with gender-related treatments. The states argue the job or regulating medical practice belongs to the states, not the federal government.
All right, Chicago's budget, that alternative proposal, is moving ahead, but without the mayor's signature. Mayor Brandon Johnson says he will not veto it, but he will not sign it either. So that means the budget will go into effect in the new year. It will not include that controversial corporate head tax that he was pushing for, but it does raise the cloud computing tax. It increases the plastic bag fee, and it does allow video gambling in bars and restaurants.
Santa is helping make the season brighter for a boy who lost his mother to gun violence. Instead of elves, Santa enlisted the help of Chicago police on Tuesday. Officers escorted 4 tow trucks decorated like reindeer to 7-year-old Carlos Smith, and they were packed with toys. Carlos's grandmother has been raising him since September when his mother, Romika Blackman, was shot and killed while dropping him off at school.
She raised a gentleman. He opened doors for women. He's overprotective of women, especially his grandmama right now. And he's very smart. He's on the honor roll.
And although this won't, bring her back, this won't, do anything from that aspect, it will at least hopefully, bring some type of positivity and add some type of a positive moment to, this young man, and your family.
Every year, ENR Towing holds a Secret Santa campaign to help families affected by gun violence. They also gave Carlos and his grandmother a check for $3,500.
All right, some young artists are helping animals at the Shed Aquarium get into the holiday spirit. And the Shed welcomed carolers from the Goodman Theater to spread cheer to all the guests there and the animals, of course, the beluga whales, the penguins. Look at the penguins right there, kind of getting in.
That's right, doing a little shuffle dance.
Totally.
So cute.
So all these kids there that are singing, they're members of the cast of the Christmas Carol. Goodman is celebrating its 100th anniversary season. It's kind of nice to see them out and about in the city. They sound great.
They do. Yeah. Precious.
All right, if you and your pup are feeling left out, don't worry. There's some holiday fun in store for Fido. The Morton Arboretum just added a dog admission night for its tree lights. This is happening January 2nd. You can get tickets online for this.
What a great way to walk the dog, get some entertainment in there. Well, it is Christmas Eve, and if you're looking for a last-minute gift, consider gifting the chance of becoming a billionaire. I like this idea.
That's good.
Powerball jackpot, $1.7 billion. The next drawing is tonight. So imagine waking up to that on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
It's in Powerball's top 5 largest prizes ever, but you got to get your ticket by 8:59 p.m. to participate.
Oh my gosh, that is going to be, I think, America's go-to stocking stuffer. People get the memo.
Yes.
Right?
I had really no thoughts on this until my late stepfather-in-law bought us lotto tickets, like several years ago, and I won $600.
No, you did?
I did. I never win anything.
Was it a scratchy?
It was a scratch.
Yeah.
And I was okay.
How old were you?
Yep.
How old were you at the time?
Well, I mean,
it was 6 years ago, you say?
It was probably.
So you were 19?
I actually didn't say 6 years.
You were 19?
No, I think I was probably. It was before Olive was born, so I was probably like 37.
Okay. A lot of money.
Yeah.
I really like that.
We love doing the scratchies on the holidays too. It's wonderful. But nobody's ever won $600.
We couldn't even get. It was like through like Meijer or something, and we couldn't even go to one Meijer to get it all. We had to stop at several and like piecemeal the cash.
Oh, that's no good. Come on, I want my money in one lump sum there. Did you take the annuity on that 600, or did you take it in
I took the lump sum.
I took the lump sum. All right, we have a day that's going to feature fading sunshine. Clouds are going to lower. We'll get some drizzle in here. It's going to be kind of a gloomy overnight period, despite the joy of the season. But it's at least mild. And wait till you see the numbers for Friday and Saturday. I've got them coming up.
All right, and welcome back. As you take a view of the skyline right there, Mike. Not too bad outside.
No, it's not that windy. It isn't all that cold. But we have seen the cloud deck lower just a little bit there, especially over the city. But bear in mind, normal high temperature today, the high temperature for today, right around 35 degrees. Look at most of these numbers, kind of in that ballpark. It's 38 at Midway, a little colder in a couple spots. Joliet at 26, 31 at Woodstock, 30 at Valparaiso, but in Gary it is 37. Today, while I don't see it getting into the 50s like yesterday, mid-40s, not too shabby. There will be some fading sunshine, but by mid-afternoon, it's going to be pretty dismal out there with a lot of low cloud cover. The good news is tonight, low temperatures don't drop that much. Upper 30s into the low 40s, so we'll see about a 4-degree swing from today's high to tonight's low to tomorrow's high temperature as well for Christmas. All right, let's see if we have any kind of an update. Gabriella's been keeping tabs on the Kennedy and that possible shooting.
Yeah, you know, Mike, we did get new information from Illinois State Police, but we are seeing the Ontario feeder ramp to the outbound side of the Kennedy, closed right now due to this possible shooting. So ISP says they responded to a reported expressway shooting on the outbound side of the Kennedy at Division around 4:15 this morning. No injuries have been reported. We have Skyfox over the outbound side right now, so it's open for now, but they do say that the ramp from Division Street to northbound Kennedy is expected to close for a canvass. And yeah, we're not seeing that just yet. But please be aware for your Christmas travel, you do not want to get stuck in a full outbound closure if it goes to that this morning. So please leave yourself some extra time. I'll send it back to you, Nat.
Thank you so much, Gabby. The Supreme Court rejects President Trump's effort to put National Guard troops on the streets of Chicago.
Roseanne Tejas has more on this setback for the Trump administration. Roseanne?
Well, political leaders from Governor Pritzker to our Illinois senators to Mayor Johnson, they're all calling this a big victory for the city and the state. Now, they say that the use of National Guard troops to support immigration agents is a blatant overreach of power. Right now, some 300 National Guard troops are under President Trump's control here in northern Illinois. He wanted to deploy them to assist federal officers in immigration enforcement, but the court rejected the request, saying the government has not shown that the law permits the president to federalize the Guard to protect federal personnel and property in Illinois. Governor J.B. Pritzker called it a big win, and this is what he had to say in a statement. The brave men and women of our National Guard should never be used for political theater and deserve to be with their families and communities, especially during the holidays, and ready to serve overseas or at home when called upon during times of immense need. Now, a White House spokesperson released a statement in reaction, and she said that the ruling won't stop President Trump's efforts to enforce immigration laws and safeguard the American public. But again, this ruling could have implications for cities across the country. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Okay, Roseanne, thank you for the update. And this comes as a new investigation from Block Club Chicago reveals that ICE arrests in Illinois have outpaced almost every other state in the country. Immigration and Customs Enforcement data show that agents arrested nearly 210,000 people nationwide, including more than 3,300 in Illinois. Agents arrested people as young as 4 and as old as 75. 60% of the arrests did not involve a criminal charge or a conviction.
Pope Leo XIV is publicly expressing his disapproval of Illinois' new right-to-die legislation. The governor signed Deb's Law this month that lets a terminally ill patient who meets certain conditions and has a doctor's approval ask for a prescription for medication to pass away peacefully on their own terms. On Tuesday, the Pope said he's very disappointed by the decision, and he claims he urged the governor not to sign the bill. This morning, Chicago's budget is moving ahead, but without the mayor's signature.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says he will not veto it, but he won't sign it either. Brian Jackson joins us with what happens next. Brian.
Well, you guys, this means that the budget will go into effect in the new year as currently passed by City Council. The plan raises cloud computing tax, increases the plastic bag fee, and even allows video gambling in bars and restaurants. The mayor says he opposes expanded debt collection and has signed an order to exempt medical debt for emergency and outpatient care.
So yes, we added some taxes to the largest corporations along with new safeguards, and we ensured that the PPLT was increased. So we have a lot to be proud of, and we still have a lot of work to do. It's like my mother would say after we would clean the house on Saturday mornings. When we thought we were done, she would say, "That's a good start."
Now the City Council has another proposal to consider. Minutes after they approved the budget, a resolution was introduced to create a special tourism district. It will be funded by a 1.5% surcharge on hotel stays. And according to Cranes, downtown hotel owners actually want to tax themselves. That money would then go towards getting big conventions into town, which means more heads and beds and in turn, more spending on tourism. Now, this is something that Mayor Johnson does support, and proponents of the bill hope it will pass council this spring.
Interesting. Okay, thanks, Brian. Paws Chicago confirms a dog that tested positive for rabies was in their care over the summer. It came from one of their partner shelters in Georgia. It was given vaccinations in June and adopted out in July. But just days ago, the family who adopted it said the dog bit one of them, so they brought it back for a risk assessment. And sadly, ultimately, vets at Paws decided to euthanize the dog. It was diagnosed with rabies after post-mortem testing. This is the first positive rabies case in Cook County since before 1964, and the first in Illinois since 1994.
New this morning, Illinois and 18 other states are suing to block the Trump administration from stripping funds for some gender-affirming care. This plan would cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments to any hospital that provides minors with gender-related treatments. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has called those treatments malpractice. But the states argue that the job of regulating medical practice belongs to the states and not the federal government. All right, it's been a very special season for the Bears as they've earned their first playoff berth in 5 years. And a byproduct of that turnaround, Pro Bowl selections.
Last year, the Bears had just one player elected. This year, they had 10. And 3 made it in. That is the most since 2019. Safety Kevin Byard earned his third career Pro Bowl selection after finishing 5th among all players in fan voting. That counts for 1/3 of the final Pro Bowl vote.
Obviously, whenever you're recognized for the season that I've had and our players had, it means a whole lot. Definitely wish we had a lot more guys in there. I think we had a lot more guys on this team that was deservingly and rightfully so, should have got in. But no, man, it's an honor and just to be recognized from my peers, coaches, and obviously, I mean, the fans. I mean, top 5 and overall votes was pretty crazy, and it was obviously incredible to see. But I'm honored for sure.
In the offseason, the Bears added Drew Dahlman and Joe Thuney to their offensive line, and that has paid off with a Pro Bowl nod for each of them. The Pro Bowl games are the week of the Super Bowl week on February 3rd in San Francisco.
And the Bears' success on the field proving to be a Christmas miracle for a Houston-based company. On Saturday, Bears receiver DJ Moore, there he is celebrating the victory over Green Bay by rocking that giant foam cheese grater hat. Well, the company that owns the Grater Head hat, which is Grater, says it's been on the market for some time now, but its newfound success is actually the perfect dose of revenge.
Funny story about the cheese grater is that this all started because we had our own version of a cheese hat. We didn't make it with the intention of selling to Green Bay Packers, but a lot of Green Bay Packers used to buy it a lot through Amazon or website or whatnot. And we end up getting a cease and desist letter from the Green Bay Packers. So when this happened, I had to stop selling those, and I was a little bit pissed. So as a payback, we came up with the design of making our own cheese grater hat. And well, this is like the best revenge that we could ever have.
That's great. He says he's now filling over 3,000 orders, mostly going to the Chicago area. And Natalie, tell us what you have discovered by visiting the homepage there.
They have so many fantastic hats. You guys have got New Year's hats. They've got Christmas hats. Every team supported here. It's foampartyhats.com.
Foampartyhats.com.
Yes, and they've got like Kentucky Derby style.
Yeah, they've got everything.
It's amazing.
And they've got the scrolling gallery on the homepage. DJ Moore has been added. To the gallery.
There he is.
Okay.
As he should be.
I'm going to check this after my weather hit because there may be something that I should put in my shopping cart.
There you go.
He said they've got a picture of Caleb Williams wearing one.
Oh,
Over
yeah, Caleb was out there doing it. He
Cheese
was handing
grater
out
hats
meals.
sold.
All
Yep.
right, can I ask you guys a trivia question?
Sure.
We have kept snowfall data in Chicagoland for 140 years. In 140 years of record keeping, how many times do you guess that there has been an at least 2-inch snowfall on Christmas Day? In 140 years, how many times have we had a 2-inch or more snowfall on Christmas Day? Your guess, please, Anthony.
I'm going to go with
140 years.
18.
18? Natalie?
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
go
too
with
high.
maybe one.
Well, only 1 2-inch snowfall in 140?
Because we're not talking about snow on the ground already.
We're talking about a snowfall.
It snowed on Christmas. One.
It's actually 9. I'm surprised you went that.
We split
that
the
low. I
difference,
would've thought-
okay? Yeah, 9.
Yeah, I would have thought it would be more. 2-inch snowfalls are fairly common, but not on Christmas, as it turns out. One every 16 years. There will be no 2-inch snowfall anytime soon. We have just a lot of low clouds, some drizzle, some fog on the way here, especially later this afternoon and tonight. Although we are seeing the ceilings come down a little bit. That's the base of the cloud deck. They are lowering a little bit. In fact, Sky Fox had to come in because of that. I think the overall cloud increase for all of Chicagoland comes in here this afternoon. See these blips of green. There's going to be some drizzle, which are tiny little drops, and then perhaps a couple of actual rain showers, which are bigger drops, but nobody is getting much rainfall here. But the low ceilings is going to impact Santa coming in here tonight. Tomorrow for Christmas, it's going to be mainly cloudy. Our model thinks there could be some sunshine at some point. I'm on the fence on that, but our model's done really well in kind of breaking that down here lately, so maybe it's on to something. Tomorrow night into Friday morning, another little quick hit of some light rainfall, but no snowfall in the forecast here. It's just a lot of cloud cover, milder than normal temperatures. I'll show you the 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Mike. It is Christmas Eve, and hopefully most of you have your Christmas shopping done by now.
But there is hope for you procrastinators out there. You got one last chance to squeeze in some shopping today. Hey, if you're an early bird, head to the Chicago Premium Outlets and Woodfield Mall. Both of those open at 8 a.m.
Wonder how busy those parking lots are going to be today. Before we head to break, we do have some breaking news for the kids. If you're up early with mom and dad, Santa is already on the move. We've got NORAD Santa Tracker Anthony, and it shows he has just dropped gifts in Micronesia. So we're going to be keeping an eye on
Kuril
him.
Islands. I've never heard of those.
The what islands?
The Kuril Islands.
Okay, we're getting that geography lesson this morning. So Santa's already on his way, kids. We'll be following him throughout the morning.
Fox 32 News is brought to you.
Welcome back. We appreciate you joining us here on Christmas Eve. Time now 6:47.
Here's some of the headlines we're following for you this morning. The U.S. Supreme Court is refusing to allow President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Chicago. The Supreme Court says the federal government failed to provide a reason for the military deployment and would not overturn a lower court ruling. Now, this is not a final ruling, but it could impact other lawsuits surrounding the National Guard.
Illinois and 18 other states are suing to block the Trump administration from stripping funds for some gender-affirming care. The plan would cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments to any hospital that provides minors with gender-related treatments. Now, the states are arguing that the job of regulating medical practice should belong to the states and not the federal government.
Chicago's budget moving forward without the mayor's signature. Mayor Brandon Johnson says he's not going to veto it, but he's not going to sign it either. So that means the budget will go into effect in the new year. This is something kind of new for everybody, I think. The plan raises the cloud computing tax, increases the plastic bag fee, and allows video gambling in bars and restaurants.
All right, Christmas Eve is upon us. Oh, look at that Christmas tree they did on the Blue Cross Blue Shield building. That's good work, right there.
It is. It is. And look at that little thin sliver of light along the horizon there.
Sun's on the way.
Not much. A couple peaks, maybe a little thin spot here and there. But the next couple of days are going to be mostly cloudy. We've talked about it. It's kind of a gray Christmas on the way. Looking at the National Satellite and Radar Composite, we've got some snow in the northeast, a little bit of snow here along the U.S.-Canadian border near Lake Superior. The biggest weather story is likely to be the West Coast and especially California, where very heavy rainfall. And this is Southern California and all the way up the coast. Very heavy rain there. And, of course, the concerns in burned areas from earlier this year for those landslides because of the heavy rain. Here, yes, cloud cover. Going to be some fog in parts of the area, and there will be some light precipitation, all liquid. None of it will be frozen. That precip likely to start in the form of some drizzle here tonight. I think daylight hours are dry, but the wetness will continue overnight. Tomorrow, Christmas itself, I don't think there's going to be any precip going on, just quite a bit of cloud cover. Our computer model continues to think we break out into some sun tomorrow. I mean, I'll cross my fingers. I'm not quite ready to buy into that scenario. I think those low clouds are going to be rather stubborn around here. Next storm system will come in late tomorrow night into Friday morning, and that too will likely have a couple of light rain showers before passing on by. And then Friday and Saturday, I think, are quite mild. Maybe not quite the low 50s that we saw yesterday, but maybe we tag 50. 44 today. That's about 10 degrees warmer than normal with fading sunshine. Tonight, a little drizzle, some fog, especially southern portions of Chicagoland for that fog. Temperatures only falling a few degrees. They don't rise that much tomorrow. Tomorrow, just kind of a gray day. There are those showers late tomorrow night and Friday morning. Friday and Saturday, a pair of 50s. Next chance of rain will be with a cold front late Saturday night and Sunday morning. And then temperatures will be falling. Sunday's high of 42s at midnight. A couple of cold days here Monday and Tuesday. All right, let's check on that commute update. The Kennedy garnering most of the attention.
Yes, Mike. Really bad news for Christmas Eve travelers, especially if you're trying to head out early. And unfortunately, Skyfox had to land because of some of that low cloud cover that Mike was talking about. But here's an update for you. A shooting investigation. Remember, in Illinois State Police got back to me. They said around 4:15 this morning, ISP responded to a report of a shooting on the outbound side of the Kennedy near Division. And so they're doing a full canvass now. I told you Ontario feeder ramp to outbound Kennedy is blocked in preparation for that full closure. And now we're seeing it starts around, Division all the way to around North Avenue. So all traffic is being diverted off at Augusta. And you can use Ashland, you can use Elston to travel away from this or around this right now. But obviously it's going to be, a slow go for people, especially headed to the airport. So here's your fair warning. But that's not all. If you're headed to the Wisconsin state line on the Edens, there's a crash reported outbound at Elston Avenue. 2 right lanes are blocked and traffic actually starts there at Montrose, although our computer isn't showing that right now. The good news is if you're heading inbound to the city, there's no traffic. It looks like under 30 minutes on the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown, 25 minutes on the Eisenhower, under 25 on the Stevenson, around 20 minutes on the Dan Ryan. Anthony and Natalie.
Okay, Gabby, thank you so much. Well, this year's holiday season expected to drive record revenue for stores. However, it is also expected to bring a surge in fraud attempts due to the increased use of AI.
But as Griff Jenkins reports, that technology is also helping fight that fraud.
Refund requests and fraudulent charge disputes are expected to be on the rise this holiday season. A new Payments.com report shows more merchants bracing for a surge in fraud attempts, many fueled by the growing use of AI, which is driving more sophisticated scams and cyber attacks targeting consumers.
You know, scammers prey on people during holiday because people are distracted. They're buying gifts, they're online, they're on social channels, which is a really big area of scammer exploitation.
Cybersecurity company McAfee estimates that 1 in 3 consumers ages 18 to 34 have fallen victim to deepfake scams. And 88% of Americans say they believe AI has increased both the number and sophistication of scams compared to years past.
You have to do a little bit more due diligence.
I will just try to use best judgment. They're looking so real at this point that it's hard to tell.
But even as AI makes scams more prevalent this season, artificial intelligence is also helping merchants fight fraud at an unprecedented scale.
They're investing in behavioral analytic techniques and AI technologies themselves to try to alert consumers of the possibility of being exploited.
Still, 30 and 40% of merchants say they are finding gaps in fraud management tools and worry there are too few resources to fully protect consumers. Many shoppers say they feel the same.
I feel like I'm a pretty savvy person, but of course as AI gets more smart, like you never know.
People need to be aware. If it sounds too good to be true, it typically is. But at the end of the day, people have to be on their guard.
And that same holiday report warning of increased fraud this year says fraud prevention can no longer be a seasonal effort. It says heightened vigilance around AI should continue well after the holiday season. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Back here at home, Santa is helping make the holiday brighter for a boy who lost his mother to gun violence. Instead of elves, Santa enlisted the help of Chicago police on Tuesday. Officers escorted 4 tow trucks decorated like reindeer to 7-year-old Carlos Smith, and they were packed with toys. Carlos's grandmother has been raising him since September when his mother, Ramika Blackman, was shot while dropping him off at school.
She raised a gentleman. He opened doors for women. He's overprotected of women, especially his grandmama right now. And he's very smart. He's on the honor roll.
And although this won't, bring her back, this won't, do anything from that aspect. It will at least hopefully, bring some type of positivity and add some type of a positive moment to, this young man, and your family.
Every year, ENR Towing holds a Secret Santa campaign to help families affected by gun violence. They also gave Carlos and his grandmother a check for $3,500.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. All right. Some young artists are helping animals at the Shedd Aquarium get into the holiday spirit. The Shedd welcomed carolers from the Goodman Theater to spread cheer with the guests and the animals alike. Yeah, the beluga whales and the penguins. You can see the penguins there on the floor right near the carolers there. They're kind of getting in on the performance. I love it. Goodman Theater. Those are cast members of A Christmas Carol there. It's playing at the Goodman, which is also celebrating its 100th anniversary season.
Those kids are so cute. What a great adventure for them. It is Christmas Eve, and if you're looking for a last-minute gift, consider gifting the chance at becoming a billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
The Powerball jackpot, $1.7 billion. The next drawing is tonight. So imagine waking up to that on Christmas morning. It is in Powerball's top 5 largest prizes ever, but you got to get your ticket by 8:59 p.m. to participate. How much are they? Are they $2?
$2.
Okay, so that's a pretty good
I think they're
gift.
still $2. One of them, they raised the price, I believe, but I'm like you. I make a mental note to get the tickets, and then I always forget.
Right.
But I really do think this is the perfect stocking stuffer.
You can't beat it.
The perfect one.
You know?
Yep.
All right, plenty more Good Days Chicago ahead. Keep it right here.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle.
Only one show has this much stock. Good Day Chicago at 7 starts now.
And right now at 7 o'clock, the Trump administration's immigration crackdown facing defeat in Illinois. We will break down a Supreme Court ruling blocking the deployment of the National Guard.
Illinois joins a big lawsuit in the fight against federal funding cuts for gender-affirming care.
And you have made it home for the holidays, we hope. But that is only half the battle. We are live with the hurdles you could face on the return trip.
Plus, we're hoping Santa's sleigh has windshield wipers. It's going to run into some wet weather while putting presents under the tree for all the kiddos.
I love the horizontal beam of light that we're looking at right now, Mike. I don't know if there's a technical phrase for that, but that Christmas tree that the custodial staff at the Blue Cross Blue Shield building, they do such a great job.
They really do, depending on what the occasion is, whether it's be a cause for some medical, the Alzheimer's awareness or whatever. They always do some cool stuff. Depending on what direction you look, though, you might see something that looks like that.
That looks like Gotham City.
Yeah. You see the low clouds hanging in there. It's going to be a mostly gray period today and tomorrow, you guys, but precipitation, it's not going to be all that widespread. You can feel the warmth coming off of this graphic if you get close to it. All right, here's the deal. The next couple of days, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies. Any sunshine that we see this morning is going to be fading here through those low clouds, but at least it's going to be a mild day. Not as warm as yesterday, but I'll still take low to mid 40s. At 4 o'clock, those clouds will be thickening and may even produce a little bit of drizzle between 4 and 5. Right now, it's mostly cloudy at O'Hare. Not much wind. East at 5, so the wind chill is about the same as the actual air temperature. Other current temperatures range from the upper 20s in a couple of spots, like Joliet, to the upper 30s. We got 38 at Midway, 36 at Gary, 31 degrees at Valparaiso. Headed for the mid 40s this afternoon. If you're headed to O'Hare, you better hear what Gabriella has to say.
Mike, I hate delivering this news on a Christmas Eve morning when we know so many of you are just trying to head out of the house, get to your destination. Well, yes, this is your note to you. If you're using the Kennedy, either to go to the Wisconsin state line or out to the airport, leave early and find some alternate routes, like Elson Avenue, will be your friend. So will Ashland Avenue this morning, because this is what you're going to be dealing with. A shooting investigation is happening on the outbound side of the Kennedy near Division. Now, the Kennedy is blocked at Augusta all the way to around North Avenue. So if you have to enter at North Avenue right now. And that's why you see Milwaukee Avenue is so packed right now, because people are going off at Augusta and trying to get to Ashland. Traffic starts right now at Lake Street all the way to that closure. ISP said that the shooting happened, or reported shooting happened, around 4:15 this morning. And they're doing a canvass right now. That's why the whole outbound side is closed. Plus the Ontario feeder ramp to the outbound Kennedy is closed as well. I'll keep you updated on this. Anything else that comes up. Luckily, your other drives, or expressways, tollways are looking okay right now. Anthony, Natalie.
Okay, thank you for the update there, Gabby. Appreciate it. All right, the Supreme Court rejects President Trump's effort to put National Guard troops on the streets of Chicago.
Roseanne has more on this setback for the Trump administration. Good morning, Roseanne.
Yes, and it was a rare setback for the president, who has won repeatedly in other emergency appeals. Governor Pritzker, though, calling this a big win for the city and state, saying that it stops an abuse of power. Right now, some 300 National Guard troops stationed in northern Illinois are under President Trump's control. He wanted to deploy them to assist federal officers in immigration enforcement, but the High Court rejected the request, saying the government has failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois. Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth released a statement jointly. They say it's long past time for the Trump administration to back off Chicago. The majority of Americans believe they've gone too far, and even the Supreme Court's conservative supermajority refused to greenlight this blatantly unlawful overreach. I should point out conservative justices Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and also Clarence Thomas dissented in this ruling that could have an impact on National Guard deployments in other cities across the country as well. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Okay, thank you, Roseanne, for that update. And that investigation comes as news from the Block Club Chicago, folks, has revealed ICE arrests in Illinois have outpaced almost every other state in the country. Immigration and Customs Enforcement data show that agents arrested nearly 210,000 people across the country. 3,300 of those arrests happened right here in Illinois. Agents arrested people as young as 4 and as old as 75, with 60% of those arrests not involving a criminal charge or a conviction.
Pope Leo XIV is publicly expressing his disapproval of Illinois' new right-to-die legislation. The governor signed Deb's law this month that lets a terminally ill patient who meets certain conditions and has a doctor's approval ask for a prescription for medication to pass away peacefully on their own terms. On Tuesday, the Pope said he's, quote, very disappointed by the decision, and he claims he urged the governor not to sign the bill. This morning, Chicago's budget moving forward without the mayor's signature.
Yes, Mayor Johnson says he won't veto it, though, but he won't sign it either. Brian Jackson joins us now with what is next, sir.
Well, what this means is the budget will go into effect in the new year as passed by the city council. The plan raises cloud computing tax. It also increases the plastic bag fee and even allows video gambling in bars and restaurants. The mayor says he opposes expanded debt collection and has signed an order to exempt medical debt for emergency and outpatient care.
So yes, we added some taxes to the largest corporations along with new safeguards, and we ensured that the PPLT was increased. So we have a lot to be proud of, and we still have a lot of work to do. It's like my mother would say after we would clean the house on Saturday mornings. When we thought we were done, she would say, that's a good start.
And now that the city council has another proposal to consider, minutes after they approved the budget, a resolution was introduced to create a special tourism district. It will be funded by a 1.5% surcharge on hotel stays. And according to Cranes, downtown hotel owners actually want to tax themselves because that money would then go towards getting big conventions into town, which means more heads and beds and in turn, more money being spent on tourism. Now, this is something that Mayor Johnson is in support of, and proponents of the bill hope it will pass the council this spring. Natalie?
Brian, Paws Chicago confirms that a dog that tested positive for rabies was in their care over the summer. It came from one of their partner shelters in Georgia, was given vaccinations in June and adopted out in July. But just days ago, the family who adopted it said the dog bit one of them, so they brought it back for a risk assessment, and ultimately vets at Paws decided to euthanize the dog. It was diagnosed with rabies after post-mortem testing. This is the first positive rabies case in Cook County since before 1964, and the first in Illinois since 1994.
New this morning, Illinois and 18 other states are suing to block the Trump administration from stripping funds for some gender-affirming care. The plan would cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments to any hospital that provides minors with gender-related treatments. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has called those treatments malpractice. However, the states are arguing here that the job of regulating medical practice should belong to the states and not the federal government. Switching gears, it's been a very special season for the Bears as they have earned their first playoff berth in 5 years. And a byproduct of that turnaround, Pro Bowl selection.
This is great. So last year, the Bears just had one player elected. This year, they had 10. 3 made it in. That is the most since 2019. Safety Kevin Byard earned his 3rd career Pro Bowl selection after finishing 5th among all the players in fan voting. That counts for 1/3 of the final Pro Bowl vote.
Obviously, whenever you're recognized for the season that you know I've had and our players had, it means a whole lot. Definitely wish we had a lot more guys in there. I think we had a lot more guys on this team that was deservingly and rightfully so should have got in. But no, man, it's an honor and just to be recognized for my peers, coaches, and obviously, I mean, the fans. I mean, top 5 and overall votes was pretty crazy, and it was obviously incredible to see. But I'm honored for sure.
In the offseason, the Bears added Drew Dahlman and Joe Thuney to their offensive line, and that has paid off with a Pro Bowl nod for each of them. The Pro Bowl games are the week of the Super Bowl week on February 3rd in San Francisco.
And the Bears' success on the field proven to be a little Christmas miracle for one company based out of Houston. The company behind that fancy headwear there that has been sported by DJ Moore. There he is celebrating the victory over the Packers. He was rocking that giant foam cheese grater hat. So the company that owns the Grater Head hat says it's been on the market for some time now. But after that win, it's finding some newfound success, which is the perfect dose of revenge.
Funny story about the cheese graters is that this all started because we had our own version of a cheese hat. We didn't make it with the intention of selling to Green Bay Packers, but a lot of Green Bay Packers used to buy a lot through Amazon or website or whatnot. And we end up getting a cease and desist letter from the Green Bay Packers. So when this happened, I had to stop selling those, and I was a little bit pissed. So as a payback, we came up with the design of making our own cheese grater hat, and well, this is like the best revenge that we could ever have.
I kind of love that soundbite.
I love it. Keeping it real.
It's an instant classic. I like it. Okay, so he says he is now filling over 3,000 orders. No surprise, most of them to the Chicago area.
I wonder how quickly they had to ship those out for Christmas gifts.
Yeah, it's a busy time.
Right.
I want to see a lot of those in the stands.
Boy,
look at that.
Look at that.
Like a watercolor painting, Mike Caplan. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful shot there. The sun coming up here very, very shortly, and it has lit up the sky. But we still, there's a lot of cloud cover. Yesterday, those clouds broke so nicely, and it got our temperatures up in the 50s. That will not be the case today. You're going to have to settle for mid-40s, but that's still well above normal for this time of year. But that is a glorious view there with the planetarium almost silhouetted there. We have temperatures that are, for the most part, in the 30s. At O'Hare, for example, it's 35. They're now reporting complete cloud cover there. It won't be a windy day. Right now it's east at 5. We're going to come around to the southeast a little bit later on. Yeah, modest wind chill, feels like 31. Monday, we could have wind chills close to 0. So we are going to get a punch of colder air, but not until we have several more mild days. 28 at Chicago Heights, but 38 at Midway, 32 at Woodstock and Rockford and LaSalle, Peru, 30 at Michigan City and Gary. It is mostly cloudy and 36 degrees. Let's look quickly at our future cast, which thinks it's going to be mainly clear for the next couple of hours. That's not the case. It is correctly identifying the thicker cloud cover that will overspread the area this afternoon. And that will be the type of cloud cover that will squeeze out some drizzle. There's also going to be some fog. I personally think the thickest fog is going to be I-80 and points south, but all of us are going to have kind of a murky overnight period. But Santa, courtesy of Rudolph, with that nose so bright, is going to be able to get through that fog without any difficulty. Christmas morning, a lot of cloud cover. We'll see maybe a couple peaks of sunshine. Next chance of rain arrives late tomorrow night, but if you're out and about doing anything tomorrow on Christmas, it's just going to be cloudy, but it will not be raining on you. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. It is Christmas Eve, and hopefully most of you have your Christmas shopping done by now.
But for procrastinators, there is hope. Yes, indeed, there is hope. You've got one last chance to squeeze in some shopping today. Hey, 48 minutes from right now, the Chicago premium outlets will open their doors, as will the good folks over at Woodfield Mall. Okay?
So there you have it. Hopefully parking will not be a challenge. All right, if you want to stay inside for New Year's, or maybe you want a pre-party before midnight, here's your invitation to start 2026 off right with Fox Chicago. You can join Anita Blanton and Jake Hamilton live from Tao's Chicago nightclub as we celebrate New Year's from Times Square to Texas. We got performances by Bun B, Cupid, Cleo Fox, and more. Fox Local New Year's Eve Live. The party starts at 10 p.m. on Fox 32 and Fox Local Chicago.
All right, before we head to break, we have to check in on Santa's progress on this Christmas Eve. This comes from the good folks over at NORAD. Okay, there he is, the big man himself, and Dasher, Dancer, all the reindeer. They're over the Northern Mariana Islands, okay? I don't know exactly where that is. It sounds far away, but thus far, 786 million gifts have been delivered so far on the other side of the planet. He's coming our way soon, kids. Happy Christmas Eve.
So you only check it twice.
Welcome back. The U.S. is building up military operations in the Caribbean. Tracking data reviewed by the New York Times shows cargo planes that are used to transport troops and equipment flew to Puerto Rico at least 16 times. Now, this all comes as the Coast Guard works to seize a third sanctioned oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela.
The Justice Department has released 11,000 new files related to the sex trafficking investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. Among them is a 2020 email from a U.S. attorney saying President Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times between 1993 and 1996. More than he knew before. The Justice Department says the files also include untrue and sensationalist claims about Trump. At least 2 people are dead after 2 explosions at a nursing home in Pennsylvania. Happened in Bristol Township. That's about 30 minutes northeast of Philadelphia. Crews were already in the area after getting reports about a natural gas leak. The building blew up while they were searching for that leak. The second explosion happened just minutes after that.
The Wisconsin woman convicted in the Slender Man stabbing about a decade ago will be readmitted to a mental health institute. A judge revoked Morgan Geyser's conditional release. She and a friend were arrested right near Chicago, actually last month, after Geyser left a group home in Madison. She will not appeal the decision.
Santa is helping make the season brighter for a boy who lost his mother to gun violence. Instead of elves, though, Santa enlisted the help of Chicago police on Tuesday. Officers escorted 4 tow trucks decorated like reindeer to 7-year-old Carlos Smith, and they were packed with toys. Carlos's grandmother has been raising him since September when his mother, Ramika Blackman, was shot while dropping him off at school.
She raised a gentleman. He opened doors for women. He's overprotective of women, especially his grandmama right now. And he's very smart. He's on the honor roll.
And although this won't, bring her back, this won't, do anything from that aspect. It will at least hopefully, bring some type of positivity and add some type of a positive moment to, this young man, and your family.
Every year, ENR Towing holds a Secret Santa campaign to help families affected by gun violence. And they also gave Carlos and his grandmother a check for $3,500.
It is Christmas Eve, and if you are looking for a last-minute present, consider gifting the chance of becoming a billionaire. The Powerball jackpot stands at $1.7 billion, and the next drawing is tonight. Imagine waking up to that on Christmas morning. It is in Powerball's top 5 largest prizes ever, but you do have to secure that ticket by 8:59 p.m. in order to participate.
So if you've got some last-minute groceries to pick up, maybe run by the convenience store, you need to gas up that car.
There you go. There you go. Mike, you gonna get in on that perhaps?
Yes, yeah. No doubt.
That's a good idea.
Might even buy 2.
I think that's a great idea.
To double. It will have 2 chances.
2 chances.
292 million or whatever it is. All right, the sun is coming up right now, and it's still quite a bit of cloud cover, though. It will not end up being as sunny as it was yesterday when we got those temperatures into the 50s. Oh, it was so nice yesterday, wasn't it? Today, a cloudier affair, and temperatures not as warm, but still warmer than normal. The main weather story nationally is what's going on the West Coast. A powerful storm system there bringing drenching rainfall, most of that to California. There'll be some mountain snow associated with that. There's also going to be a little winter storm popping up in parts of Pennsylvania with a combination of ice and snow. That's mainly tomorrow going into Friday. For us, you can see a little pipeline of moisture coming in here, and that's eventually going to bring lower clouds, some fog, and some drizzle in here tonight. I think drizzle to light rain. Santa will be able to get through that. Don't worry. But tomorrow, for Christmas Day, after the passage of that trough, I think we'll still see quite a bit of cloud cover. Rainfall will be out of here. I don't think it's going to be raining tomorrow. The next storm system is approaching, though, quickly from the west. That will come in here late tomorrow night, probably after midnight. So we're going into the wee hours of the morning Friday. You see a little quick hit of light precipitation that here would be exclusively rain. Behind that, for Friday and I think also Saturday, we have a chance of getting to 50 degrees again both of those days, despite not a lot of sunshine. Today, 44, thickening clouds, some drizzle late. By late, I'm talking about 4 or 5 o'clock. There'll be intermittent drizzle and or light rain tonight, cloudy and foggy. muggy with temperatures only dropping a couple of degrees. 50s, though, Friday with a shower in the morning. 50 on Saturday with a shower at night. Then here comes the colder air. Monday's high, only 24 degrees. Put a smile on your face, Gabriella. Good news, huh?
It is very good news, Mike. It's new into the newsroom. The outbound side of the Kennedy is clear. Shooting investigation is clear. That's what that should say. It was earlier reports of shot fired over outbound Kennedy at Division, and ISP was gathering some evidence with that. No reports of injuries, so that's the good news. And luckily, we have low traffic volume this morning. Not many people out on the roads for this Christmas Eve, so everything is already clearing up on the outbound side of the Kennedy, including Milwaukee Avenue there that was heavily used. Although we have a new report on the outbound side of the Edens, if you are heading to the Wisconsin state line, a rollover crash before Dempster. 2 right lanes are blocked. Again, low traffic volume, so it looks like people are still getting by pretty smoothly. Other than that, take a look at this. We have no traffic, really, around Chicagoland. Merry Christmas Eve to everyone out there. 2 just minor crashes off the expressway. It looks like one in Westmont, one in like Glendale Heights area, so be aware of that as well. Okay, cue the Christmas music. Good Day Chicago. We'll be right back.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bell. Happy holidays from
Welcome back. AAA says more than 120 million Americans are traveling this holiday season. The FAA is expecting more than 35,000 flights today alone.
Fox's Asher Red is at the airport in Nashville, Tennessee. And Asher, how are things looking there?
Well, Natalie and Anthony, we had a rush of all the 7 o'clock flights getting in about maybe an hour and a half ago, and it's since calmed down since then. Now, folks traveling today are cutting it close, especially if they're trying to get to their destination by Christmas Day. The AAA says 109 million people will drive, 8 million will fly, and nearly 5 million will either take a cruise or hop on a train. Some folks in the Northeast are forecasted to have a white Christmas, but travel experts are keeping an eye on airports in states like New York and Massachusetts for potential delays. Meanwhile, heavy rain out west could delay travelers on the West Coast, but some travelers say they're trying to stay optimistic here.
And it wasn't bad last year. Hopefully it's not bad this year. If it's anything like last year, hopefully it's the same. It was easy last year, so it wasn't that bad.
But there's a bright side to this holiday season. Folks driving to their destination might notice cheaper gas prices. AAA says the national average is around $2.85 today, which is about 20 cents cheaper than last Christmas Eve. Travel experts say the timing of Christmas and New Year this year is great for travel.
Actual nice thing about this holiday season is the way that Christmas and New Year's fall. We're actually spreading out travelers across almost a little over 2 weeks. So we've actually seen some of those supposedly busiest days earlier this week, the 19th, 20th, and 21st, didn't even crack the top 50 of busiest days of 2025.
And TSA says Sunday will be the busiest travel day with nearly 3 million passengers trying to get home. And if you're driving, travel experts say you might want to get on the road before 9 a.m. Back to you.
Asher, thank you. Have fun at the airport. It's always a nice place to do a live shot because you've got a restroom, coffee shop.
And HVAC. You know,
that's right.
Heating is nice this time of year. Let's track the big man's progress here, Nat.
Okay, so this is NORAD Santa Tracker, and Anthony.
Rockhampton, Australia.
There you go, Rockhampton, Australia. He's delivered more than 800 million gifts so far. We'll continue to track Santa throughout the morning here. Already on the move, Mike Caplan.
That's fantastic. You can see the wave action there in the, I think that's on the Indian Ocean side. I'm not 100% certain. Of course, Australia has shoreline in the Pacific and the Indian, so, but he's doing good work.
Yeah.
We take for granted that his day starts. It's
now
a lot earlier than we think there. He's still many hours away from getting into Chicagoland, and when he arrives, he will be doing so through low clouds and fog. Rudolph, with that nose so bright, will be guiding that sleigh tonight. There you can see some of the fog out there even already. We'll be back with a full holiday forecast for you right after this.
Need a last-minute gift idea?
Welcome back. It is now 7:30. You are watching Good Day Chicago.
Yes, we appreciate you joining us on this Christmas Eve morning. Here's a look at some of the headlines we are following for you. Here locally, Mayor Brandon Johnson says he will not veto the alternative budget that was passed by the council, but that he won't sign it either. The mayor says he is glad the budget fight is over, but the alternative budget does not include the corporate head tax that he had championed. The city had to get a budget passed by end of year or be shut down.
Health officials say about 13 people are known to be exposed to a dog in Chicago that tested positive for rabies. We are learning the dog was in Paws Chicago's care this summer and again just days ago before it was euthanized. Officials are still working to figure out how the virus was transmitted, even though the dog was vaccinated.
And maybe not in this hemisphere, but on the other side of the world, Santa is already in the sky. Check out his progress, kids. NORAD has started tracking his around-the-world Christmas journey. So you better be good, for goodness sakes, everybody. Where is he? He's over Brisbane, Australia, 26 minutes from now. And he has so far delivered 894 million gifts. If you want to track Santa's progress, go to NORAD's website.
I know, I keep bringing this up, but it's such a great geography lesson, even for us, because some of the islands he was flying over earlier, I don't think we'd ever heard of before.
No, I had not. It was Micronesia. I think that's near Indonesia,
well, that's near
perhaps?
Indonesia,
okay.
But I think it were some even smaller islands that were a part of that cluster.
So he is en route. So stand by. He's getting closer and closer, kids. Okay, some news now. The Supreme Court rejects President Trump's effort to put National Guard troops on the streets of Chicago.
Roseanne has more on this setback for the Trump administration. Roseanne?
Well, political leaders in the city and state are calling this a big victory. They say that use of National Guard troops to support immigration agents is what they call a blatant overreach. Right now, some 300 National Guard troops here in Illinois, in northern Illinois, are under President Trump's control. He wanted to deploy them to assist federal officers in immigration enforcement. But the court rejected that request, saying that the government has not shown that the law permits the president to federalize the Guard to protect federal personnel and property in Illinois. Governor J.B. Pritzker called it a big win for the city and state, and other people we've talked to this morning agree with him.
It's an excellent thing. I think we have a very strong governor, and he has been doing his best to try to protect the state, and we are really delighted.
Governor Pritzker said in a statement, the brave men and women of our National Guard should never be used for political theater and deserve to be with their families and communities, especially during the holidays, and ready to serve overseas or at home when called upon during times of immense need. Now, from the White House this morning, a spokeswoman saying that this ruling won't stop President Trump's efforts to enforce immigration laws and also to safeguard the American public. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Well, Ukraine says it has reached an agreement with American officials on some of the key details of a potential peace agreement with Russia. One of the key sticking points is about the territory that Russia has taken in Ukraine. Now, the U.S. wants to turn it into a free economic zone. Ukraine says it is willing, but it will need to hold a referendum first. There's still not a full agreement about who would manage a major nuclear plant in that territory. The U.S. still needs to convince the Russians to agree. The Justice Department has released another batch of Epstein files, but the FBI says some of the documents are fake, and that includes an alleged letter from Epstein to convicted sports doctor Larry Nassar, alluding to President Trump's loving of young girls. The FBI says that the writing does not match Epstein's, and it was postmarked 3 days after Epstein died, and it was also sent from Northern Virginia instead of New York, where Epstein was actually jailed at the time.
Whether or not it is, valid or real, the circulation of something like that does reopen the trauma, and it's graphic and it's dehumanizing.
Also among the heavily redacted files is a January 2020 email from an assistant U.S. attorney saying President Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 8 times between 1993 and 1996. That is more than originally reported. Well, President Trump is making another push to acquire Greenland, and this time the governor of Louisiana is involved. The president has appointed Jeff Landry as his new special envoy to the Arctic island, which is currently part of the territory of Denmark. The White House claims that the Danish government isn't investing in Greenland's defense, but Denmark disagrees.
Out of nowhere, there is now a special U.S. representative who, according to himself, is tasked with taking over Greenland. This is, of course, completely unacceptable.
If you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need it for national security. We have to have it.
President Trump even refused to rule out the use of force to take over Greenland, telling reporters, we'll have to work that out. Well, if you decide to brave the grocery store, maybe you should just wish that the computers crash out. Because in Texas, a computer crash led to people getting their groceries for free. Checkout lines were stuck and getting even longer. The store realized its computer system wasn't getting fixed anytime soon, so it made a decision you don't often hear.
Unfortunately, the computers are not coming back up right now. So today, everything that you have, we are going to back you up, and we hope every one of you have a very Merry Christmas.
People had, their baskets were fuller than mine, you know, so you can imagine how they felt.
Now, I'm wondering, did some people go back for even more once they found out these groceries were free, right? A lot of people didn't even believe this at first, but once they realized it was real, most of them said it was a godsend. Well, we're also to the point where we can say this week's Bears game is the biggest game of the season, with the Bears still having an opportunity to get that top seed. But it looks like the Bears will not have Rome Odunze on Sunday night. But the 49ers, they might not have one of their key players either. Tight end George Kittle sprained his ankle on Monday night against the Colts. Right now, like all of us, he's day-to-day. The Niners are also trying to grab that top seed in the NFC. You gonna stay up late next Sunday night, Mike?
As long as I can. Long as I can. Hopefully the Bears will put it out of reach early. Then I can go to sleep. And you
and me both.
And you and I won't have to text each other through cardiac arrest like we did this past week. All right, take a look at that shot there, Brian. You can see a couple thin spots in the overcast. But it's going to be a mainly cloudy day. Far less sunshine than we had yesterday. Yesterday, remember, I amended my forecast in the middle of my shows here to say, you know what, I think it's going to be a little bit sunnier, and consequently it's going to be warmer. I don't think that's going to be the case today. Temperature's still above normal, though. 35 is the normal high this time of year, 34, 35 degrees. We'll beat that by about 10 degrees today. A lot of low cloud cover will be with us, especially this afternoon. And you see our futurecast lights up with a couple little blips of green here and there. Mainly drizzle. Any light actual rain, a couple hundredths of an inch. That's it. It is not a downpour coming in here. It's just enough to kind of keep things damp tonight for Santa. Tomorrow, we may start with fog, especially I-80 and points south. Most of Chicagoland stays cloudy tomorrow, although, once again, our model is trying to scour out some of that low cloudiness during the afternoon hours. That would be a bonus. I still think tomorrow's going to be a pretty gray day, all things considered. Certainly on Friday, a lot of cloud cover, maybe a passing shower overnight, say midnight to 7 a.m. going into Friday. The rest of Friday is going to be dry and quite mild despite all that cloudiness. I think we can hit 50 degrees. And looking ahead to the first week of 2026, the forecast still high confidence in it, averaging for that 7-day period warmer than normal for most of the country, including Chicagoland. Doesn't mean you can't have a couple of cold days in that 7-day stretch, but overall, it is a mild pattern heading into next year. 44 today, southeast winds at light speeds. Tonight, Santa coming into town. Going to need the fog lights on there. Rudolph will be doing his thing. 40 for the low, so not a big temperature drop, but it is going to be kind of damp. Tomorrow, high 42. Then I think we can tag 50 on Friday. Chance of a shower sneaking in Saturday night. That'll be on a cold front that will send temperatures down after a midnight high of 42 on Sunday, high of only 24 on Monday. I've got some lovely photographs to share with you. How about this picture? Kathy Abretsky out there in northwest Indiana giving us a look at the crescent moon peeking through an oak tree. And if you look closely there, you can see a little bit of the earth shine, a little bit of sunlight reflecting off the earth, striking the part of the moon not being hit by sunlight. Good picture there, Kathy. Our second photo. This is from Lori Anderson, and she was at the beach in Beverly Shores. And what you see there, obviously the sun on the left side, and that is a sundog. That's a fancy name for that. It's called parhelia, and it's created by those cirrus clouds. They act
nice
like
house there,
prisms.
too, right there on the beach.
What's that?
It's a nice house in the background there on the beach.
I wonder if that's Lori's. Lori, is that your place there? I don't
Invite us over.
Good spot. All right, and our last photo. All right, now take a close look at this. Andy Bowen, he's at the Magic Hedge. This is a spot near Montrose Harbor where birds congregate. That is a black-capped chickadee. Do you see what's going on there? Andy is hand feeding that chickadee. That is his gloved hand. And some of the birds there are trained to come right up to you and eat bird seed out of your hand. Andy, that is super cool. I've done something similar with hummingbirds. It is it's a great experience. So very cool stuff there. Get your pictures to us via the Fox 32 weather app. All right, let's check in on that morning commute. This is your responsibility now, Brian?
Yes, it looks
Go get it, man.
Time is now 7:41 this morning. I know a lot of you have the day off, but if you are heading out the door this morning, no major incidents on any of your major expressways. Kennedy O'Hare to downtown, looking at 26 minutes. Coming from the south side, Dan Ryan, 90-50 downtown. It'll take you 19 minutes on this Christmas Eve. We'll be right back.
Why are we all...
So do you find yourself not exactly being in the best of moods at a time when people are supposed to be cheery?
It happens this time of year. A lot of stress around the holidays. And Anna Eliopoulos has more on not letting bad moments ruin everything.
I was worried about canceled flights and delayed flights.
For some, it's travel stress. For others, it's about finding the perfect gift and its cost.
A lot of people are reporting that they feel like they're spending too much money around the holidays, or they feel like they don't have enough money to spend around the holidays.
Whatever the reason, experts say no one is immune to holiday stress.
Preparing a dinner for an entire family, also stressful. Arranging different schedules, that's another big source of stress.
It's an issue psychologists say comes from the idea of wanting everything to look perfect, like it does in the movies and TV. But as we all know, real life is a lot more messy.
Everyone's holiday looks different. It won't always be a big family in a big, immaculately decorated home. We might be hanging out in our pajamas and watching TV while we have Christmas dinner.
How should you manage expectations? Experts recommend being realistic with yourself and embracing the good and bad of the season. This could mean planning a fun activity like baking or cooking the holiday feast with your family instead of shouldering it alone.
The best way to account for it is by integrating it into your plans and even letting some of those minor annoyances be a part of your holiday tradition.
Another tip, try to stay present with family and off your phone. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
I like your idea, Natalie, about just disappearing into a mall for like 4 hours if you need a break.
I mean, can't say I haven't done it myself.
All right, so okay. The Trump administration is going to start seizing wages of student loan borrowers who are in default. More than 5 million borrowers are currently in default, with that number expected to reach close to 10 million. The Education Department can take up to 15% of after-tax paychecks. Borrowers are considered in default if they are more than 270 days past due on their payments. Notices for this are going to start going out next month.
The Louvre in Paris has installed security bars on the window that thieves used in the October jewel heist. A little too late. Crooks who pretended to be workers stole 8 pieces of the French crown jewels worth over $100 million. They used a freight lift to break through that window. 4 people have been charged, but the jewels have not been found. The Louvre director offered to resign over some very lax security measures, but the museum refused to accept his resignation.
All right, the atmospheric river is going to pummel Southern California this Christmas week. Bad news for folks there. The storm projected to be an immediate threat to homes and roads, overall safety. Really, and mandatory evacuation orders as well as warnings have been posted across L.A., Orange, and Ventura counties. Bad timing for this with the holidays, and the burn scars in the Palisades and Altadena regions are of particular concern. Deputies went door to door in Altadena warning residents of the coming danger.
It's hard to tell people, hey, you got to go, right? And it's also hard to tell people, hey, if you don't go, you're putting yourself in a really tough spot.
When they start talking atmospheric rivers, it kind of freaks me out.
Yeah, in Pacific Palisades, where January's fire took out thousands of homes and other structures, people say they're taking steps to prepare here. The Pacific Coast Highway is expected to remain open, though. Crews will monitor for possible mudslides. That is unfortunate.
And during the holiday season, too, you know, it's so sad.
We've been showing pictures and, satellite imagery of that storm system that's plowing into California. Bad news for them, and you're right over the holidays.
So, question for you, Mike, though. With the aftermath of the fire, it's way more prone to mudslide because there's not a lot to absorb.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, all that stuff that's been burned down, that's debris that can flow. There's nothing to kind of hold the moisture in the ground anymore. It turns into mud right away. And that's what increases the risk there and why they're telling folks they may have to evacuate. I want, though, apropos of the Louvre story, I want the backstory to see, like, what were the meetings going on among that crew? All right, we're going to dress up like a cleaning crew. We got to get a crane over there. Johnny, you going to get the crane for us? You know, how did they plan this? I'd want to know.
But here's the thing, though. You see a cherry picker outside of any building in Chicago. Are you questioning that?
No.
No, because you think it's
they're
like
hiding in plain
they're
sight.
doing electrical.
The good news is they've really tightened things up. I understand they've changed the security password from the word password to they've replaced the S's with 5s.
With 5. Okay. No one would ever.
So now things are locked down.
Oh my gosh! All right, remember not that long ago, I shared this very same vantage point. Remember what it looked like? Beautiful orange sky. Now it's kind of gone to that pale gray. There's not going to be that much sunshine. If you get some sun today, not going to be like yesterday. It's cloudy at O'Hare, 35. Not much wind, so the wind chill's about the same as the actual air temperature. And that's going to be the case. And the light nature of the winds will be contributing to the fog that gets going here later today and tonight. Here are the current temps. 29 Joliet and Morris, 33 Chicago Heights, Waukegan at 37, 36 at Gary, 32 Michigan City, and in Merrillville on US 30, it is 33 degrees. Rainfall, the amount of rain that will be coming down in the next couple of days, and there are really 2 chances for bona fide rain. Tonight, and again late tomorrow night, and you're looking at maybe 1/10 of an inch or so. This is not going to be a soaker, just enough to kind of keep things damp out there, maybe eat into some of the snert that you still have at the end of the driveway. 44 today, thickening cloud cover, chance for some drizzle starting maybe 4 p.m. And then tonight, just kind of damp, foggy, and soggy. 40 degrees for the low. There's not a big temperature swing coming between today's high, tonight's low, and Christmas high. We're looking at low 40s pretty much the whole time. But after a shower, wee hours of morning Friday, we get up to 50 on Friday, another 50 on Saturday ahead of the cold front, which will be accompanied by a brief shower Saturday night. 42 will be the temperature at midnight Sunday with falling temperatures. A couple of colder days Monday and Tuesday. Natalie?
Well, how about this? Santa might come down the chimney, but rats coming right up through the toilet in Seattle.
Okay, all right. Seattle health officials have come up with a very unique awareness campaign.
What?
To warn, this is frightening. There's been flooding, which is forcing the rats into the sewer system. The Seattle Health Department has put out a series of cartoons on its Facebook page walking you through what to do, including staying calm if you can, though the image has the person looking that rat right in the eye. And it says to flush it right back down.
What?
It says if the rat's too big, close the lid and call a pest control company.
I have never
don't know
heard
whether
of this.
to laugh or be just shocked, because I do know these rats, they are like the ultimate survivors. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're like super swimmers.
But I mean, you have to be in the bathroom to see this. Like, you could just be elsewhere in your house and it hops right out of there and runs around your house. That is so disgusting.
Oh my God.
That's nightmare material.
It is. It is. All right. Have you heard of Twixmas? It doesn't involve Twix, the only candy with the cookie crunch.
No. Twixmas is the days between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh.
A survey found the average person struggles to track time on at least 4 different occasions during the last week of December. Also, during the last week of the year, people are more likely to watch old shows, never really get out of their pajamas, and take a lot of naps.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so when your parents told you they don't have a favorite child, guess what? They lied. The survey says 2/3 of parents do have a favorite kid, and that their choice stays the same for decades. Daughters and younger siblings are typically the favorites, but the less favored kid tends to have bad mental health and worse family relationships. So at least there's that.
Yeah, let's consider that this holiday season as we gather around.
You may not be the favorite, but at least you're set up for failure in life.
Okay. Well, you're my favorite Ponce, though, by the way. I've told you that many a time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a favorite child. There's a most hated Christmas movie, and it would be Home Alone 3, Anthony. Survey also found the second most hated is the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch. I love that movie. The Polar Express, Jingle All the Way, and Christmas with the Cranks in the top 5.
My 4-year-old did not enjoy Polar Express. He thought it was a little creepy. I haven't seen the whole thing through. You know what it was? It was the animation, I think. Have you seen the Polar Express?
I have. I've seen it a few times.
Because it's animated, but it's kind of realistic too. It's like Tom Hanks, but it's not Tom Hanks. So I think that messed with him a little bit.
Okay. Remember, and it was written by someone who lived in...
Was it Pullman?
Pullman. Yes, because some of the buildings have the similar arches and things like that.
The North Pole looks like the Pullman neighborhood.
Yes.
That's a really cool connection.
All right, the new drama Song Sung Blue stars Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. It's about a real-life Milwaukee couple who made headlines when they created a Neil Diamond tribute band, forever changing their lives.
Jake Hamilton spoke with Hugh and his Chicago co-star Jim Belushi about this film.
I love that Mike just wants people to understand that Neil Diamond is much more than Sweet Caroline. He also has Suleiman. And I think anyone, Mr. Jackman, who knows your career knows that you are much more than Wolverine. You've got so many other roles that have reminded me of why I love movies. So I'd love to know if Wolverine is your Sweet Caroline,
right?
What performance is your Suleiman, the one that you would like more people to know and appreciate?
Prisoners, The Fountain. Yeah, I think those are the ones. My kids would say Flushed Away.
Buckle up, everyone.
One of the things I love about this movie, it is such a love letter to the struggle, those early days when all you want to do is entertain people.
I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a sex symbol. I just want to entertain people.
What was your favorite thing about those early days, those days when you were struggling, when all you wanted to do was entertain a few folks? It didn't matter how many folks it was. What's your favorite memory of that time in your career?
Oh, clowning at a kid's party. At one point, one of the kids, it was his birthday. Ma, this clown is crap. 8. This kid was 8. I was like, I've reached my limit. I'm out.
Mr. Belushi, there's a great scene in this film where you book a show for the band in a Southside Chicago bar.
Here we go.
I know you have visited a Chicago bar or two in your day. I'd love to know what is the Chicago bar experience that turned out differently than you expected.
I've had a few fist fights in the Chicago bar.
Have you?
Yeah.
What's the tale of the tape? How many did he come out on top?
Well, I kind of pushed it to the side and snuck out because as an actor, you don't want to get hit in the face. Like,
Next time you're back in town, man.
Let somebody else.
Moneymaker, right here.
That's it.
When you walk into a Berlin.
Well, maybe you spent a bunch of money on a PlayStation 5 for nothing because a survey finds people want a more practical gift this year. Survey says cash is their #1 choice, but some people still want clothes and others would like someone to pick up their rent.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
All right, instead of elf on a shelf, it's elf on a walk. Scooter is a giant stuffed elf in Arizona who roams from yard to yard. Neighbors have woken up to find Scooter at their house, and maybe their home's covered in teepee.
How fun is that?
Or Scooter in a Star Wars battle with Darth Vader. He has become so popular, you actually have to get in line to wait to get pranked. People want a visit from Scooter.
And if you were wondering what college educations are for, well, here you go. A law professor at Georgetown looked into the idea that Buddy the Elf was actually kidnapped by Santa. The professor decided it didn't define a kidnapping since Santa didn't take him by force. Because remember, he was at the orphanage when he crawled into the little bag of Santa's. So Buddy never tried to leave as an adult. Though the professor says there's still some ethical problems with Santa putting Buddy to work in the elf assembly line.
Good Day Chicago at 8 starts now.
All right, on Good Day Chicago here at 8 o'clock, the Supreme Court hands a victory to Chicago over the Trump administration regarding the National Guard. The question now becomes, for how long?
And Have you heard about surveillance pricing? What you need to know about how you are being watched and how it could affect what you pay.
And Santa won't be the only person up in the skies today. We're going to check in on how busy air travel and the highways are going to be for the holidays.
As we take a live look outside, you'll notice not a lot of sunshine, but the weather, the temperatures anyway, not too shabby, Caitlin.
Not too bad. It's going to be foggy tonight, though, for Santa. So I wonder what kind of, does he have to have low beams then?
Rudolph with the nose.
Rudolph with the nose. That's right. Can't forget Rudolph. It is going to be a cloudy day today. We have the chance for a little bit of light rain later on as well. So this afternoon, even more so this evening and tonight, some light drizzle will be around. This morning, though, it's quiet outside of the cloud cover. You can see satellite and radar. Dry skies, clouds, they're pretty thick. It is going to be a cloudy day, start to finish. Temperatures ranging in the 30s. Right now it's 37 degrees at the lakefront, 38 at O'Hare and Midway. Temperatures hovering around freezing for western areas like Aurora's 31, 32 degrees on the dot in Joliet as well as in DeKalb. Temperatures are ranging in northwest Indiana. It's in the upper 30s in Gary. Here's your day planner. Temperatures right around 44 degrees by 1 p.m. Highs today in the upper 40s with that chance for drizzle into tonight. Tomorrow's looking dry. What about temperatures for Christmas Day? A full check of your forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Caitlin. The Supreme Court has rejected President Trump's effort to put National Guard troops on the streets of Chicago.
Roseanne has more on this setback for the Trump administration. Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning, and this is a rare setback. President Trump has won repeatedly in other emergency appeals, but political leaders in Chicago and Illinois call this a win. Right now, some 300 National Guard troops here in northern Illinois stationed here are under President Trump's control. He wanted to deploy them to assist in federal immigration enforcement, but the High Court rejected the request, saying that the government has failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois. Some Chicagoans tell us they didn't want the Guard here.
My beef was that they weren't needed at all. We have some problems of crime, but they don't help. They're not trained to do it. They're not useful. It was just a political ploy for him to try to beat Chicago, who he doesn't like, into submission.
Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth said in a joint statement, it's long past time for the Trump administration to back off Chicago. The majority of Americans believe they've gone too far, and even the Supreme Court's conservative supermajority refused to greenlight this blatantly unlawful overreach. Conservative Justices Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Clarence Thomas dissented in this opinion that could have an impact on cities across the nation. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Okay, Roseanne, thank you for that update there. We are getting new details this morning about Cook County's first rabid dog case in more than 60 years.
Brian is here with that and more. Brian?
Well, Paul, Chicago confirms a dog that tested positive for rabies was in their care over the summer. It came from one of their partner shelters in Georgia. Now, it was given vaccinations in June and then adopted in July. But just days ago, the family who adopted the dog said that the dog bit one of them. They brought it back for a risk assessment, and ultimately, the vets at Paws decided to euthanize the dog. It was diagnosed with rabies after the post-mortem testing. Now, this is the first positive rabies case in Cook County since before 1964, and the first in the state of Illinois since 1994. Pope Leo XIV disapproves of new assisted suicide legislation. The governor signed Deb's law this month. It allows a terminally ill patient who has met certain criteria and gotten the doctor's approval to ask for a prescription to pass away peacefully. The Pope said that he is very disappointed by the decision and claims he urged for Governor Pritzker not to sign the bill.
I would invite all people, especially in these Christmas feast days, to reflect upon the nature of human life, the goodness of human life. God became human like us to show us what it means really to live human life. And I hope and pray that the respect for life will once again grow in all moments of human existence, from conception to natural death.
The advocacy group Death with Dignity says 11 other states allow medically assisted suicide. Reports say 7 other states are considering passing a similar law. Well, the Gurnee Police Department is stepping up efforts to help the community. They're launching a new team specialized in mental health care. Two people comprise the Crisis Assistance Response Engagement Team, also known as CARE. The officer and licensed social worker will respond to scenes and help those experiencing a mental health crisis. The goal is to provide a direct connection to those with mental health illnesses and ease fears in their community. Residents can request more information or services on the village website. Natalie?
Brian, Illinois and 18 other states are suing to block the Trump administration from stripping funds for some gender-affirming care. The plan would cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments to any hospital that provides minors with gender-related treatments. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has called those treatments malpractice. But the states argue the job of regulating medical practice belongs to the states, not the federal government.
A federal judge has decided that letting schools keep students' gender transitions secret from parents is unconstitutional. The ruling stops California from forcing teachers to hide the information. The decision makes it clear parents have the right to know if their child is transitioning, and teachers have the right to tell them.
Former Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse says he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He said on X the cancer has metastasized and he doesn't have long to live. Pancreatic cancer is extremely tough to diagnose because symptoms don't show up until it's almost too late.
Cardinal Blaise Supich will lead the annual Midnight Mass at Holy Name Cathedral. The church will start letting people who pre-register inside at 11. The carols start at 11:30. If you can't make it, though, tonight, the church will stream that service over the YouTube channel, so that's a good alternative.
And NORAD has started tracking Santa as he makes his trip around the world. NORAD and its predecessor started tracking Santa 70 years ago, all because of a mistake. After all, he's not a national security threat, right? Like NORAD usually tracks. In 1955, Sears printed a number it said was to call Santa. But it was the wrong number and went to the military unit that preceded NORAD. An Air Force colonel answered, and when he realized what was happening, he played along and ordered other officers to do the same.
It's been a tradition that has held ever since. We've been tracking Santa's progress all morning long. He's still in the other hemisphere right now, so there's a number of hours before he gets into our area. And
Anthony, we did an interview on Chicago Now. Was it OnStar, the button that you push in your car?
Yes.
So this is something parents, if you didn't know, another way you could talk to Santa is push the button in your vehicle. And you can
It'll tell you a little story and tell you where he's at.
How cute.
So what's he going to face when he gets into our area tonight? Caitlin.
It's going to be foggy.
Okay.
It's going to be foggy. So hopefully, as we mentioned earlier, Rudolph is ready because it is going to be cloudy today and foggy tonight. We also have a little bit of wet weather on the way. So let's talk about it. Satellite and radar showing the clouds in place this morning, but it's dry. Temperatures are going to be mild today, but my goodness, yesterday mid-50s. Are you kidding? It felt fantastic. Today we're not going to be quite that warm, but still expecting the 40s this afternoon. Right now we're sitting in the 30s. It's 38 degrees at O'Hare, 37 at the lakefront, 38 in Waukegan. I see 33 in DeKalb, 30 in Morris. Temperatures in northwest Indiana ranging in the 30s, 37. Pretty mild there in Gary. Low 30s in Valpo. Here's your futurecast. So as I take you through your day, low 40s expected, as mentioned. Mid 40s this afternoon as we get to around 3 or 4. And then we have the chance for a little bit of light drizzle. So scattered light rain is possible, especially this evening into tonight. You can see the speckles of green. This is going to continue into the very first part of tomorrow, but then tomorrow mostly dry conditions for Christmas Day. Temperatures are going to be back to the low 40s, but we are going to be fighting with those clouds. And then we have the chance for wet weather returning again Christmas night into Friday. So this is Friday morning, 5:30. Some scattered rain around. Hopefully you have the day off work and you can just sleep in. We've got cloudy skies, though, expected to end the week. This weekend, it's 50-50, a mild day one day and colder the next. I'll show you that on your full 7-day forecast ahead.
Make the most of your season.
All right, it's 10 after 8 a.m. on your Christmas Eve morning. So we take a look at the Chicago River. No icebergs, you know, how they kind of
Yeah.
block
Worry
the
about
path.
that.
Yeah, nice and warm outside compared to how it normally is.
In the meantime, the U.S. Supreme Court will not allow President Trump to deploy National Guard troops to Chicago. The Supreme Court says the federal government failed to prove a reason for the military deployment and would not overturn a lower court ruling.
A new study finds medical bills are putting some serious pressure on millions of Americans right now. Research published in JAMA shows that more than 1 out of 4 people say that hospital costs are hurting their finances and their health. The study also found many skipped needed care because they didn't think they could afford it or could not afford it, with older adults and hospitalized patients among the hardest hit.
Tonight's Powerball is worth $1.7 billion. That is right, billion with a B. Enough to put Santa on the beach forever. Your odds of winning are 1 in 292 million. And for your obscure fact of the day, your odds of being killed by a vending machine are 1 in 112 million. So
Yeah.
more likely.
Indeed. All right, so let's send things over to Caitlin Cody to sort through how Christmas Eve is looking for folks here.
Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. Temperatures, they're going to be mild. Not quite as warm as yesterday. We hit the mid-50s yesterday. Today we're staying in the 40s, and it's going to be cloudy. You can see the clouds have been building overnight into this morning. We also have the chance for a little bit of wet weather, so some light scattered sprinkles expected this evening and tonight. But this morning it's dry, it's just cloudy. Temperatures are in the 30s. We're looking at 37 degrees at the lakefront as well as in Gary, 34 in Chicago Heights, freezing in Valpo and Michigan City as well as Kankakee. Low 30s for western areas too, including DeKalb, LaSalle County, Kane, Kendall, Grundy County in the low 30s. You're stepping out the door right now. Today, highs right around 47, so we're going to be in the mid to upper 40s. It's going to be mild, so yes, it's going to be cooler than yesterday, but still going to feel great. With that southeast wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour, we have that potential for some drizzle later on, and tonight, 37. Drying out, but we're going to have some fog. So a foggy night, clouds in place, temperatures staying elevated in the mid to upper 30s, and then tomorrow for Christmas Day, cloudy skies are back, highs right around 42 with that northeast wind around 5 to 10, gusting up to 20. Here's our maps. So the futurecast showing 3:45 and the clouds are thickening up and we have that chance for a little bit of drizzle around. Scattered light rain at 8:30. And then as we head into early tomorrow, drier skies will be here. So for Santa tonight, it's going to be foggy, cloudy with a little bit of rain. And then for Christmas Day, 4:45, we do have a few clouds out there, luckily staying dry during the daylight hours for you to travel, whatever you have planned for tomorrow. And then as we head into tomorrow night, so Christmas night into early Friday, we have the chance for a little bit of light rain again as low pressure passes by. Now, talking about the temperatures, we're actually going to be taking a hit this weekend. 7-day outlook shows 46 degrees on Friday. This weekend, upper 40s Saturday, Sunday right around 41. And then next week, we're starting off with very cold air with highs in the 20s. Back to you.
At least 2 people have been killed in a nursing home explosion in Pennsylvania.
Rescue crews have ended a search for any survivors at this point. This blast happened at the Bristol Health and Rehab Center, right as utility crews were investigating a possible gas leak. Authorities say people were injured and trapped inside. Residents were evacuated as rescue crews rushed in.
We got everyone out that we could find, that we could see, and we exited the building. Within approximately 15 to 30 seconds of us exiting the building, knowing there was a heavy odor of natural gas around us, there was another explosion and fire.
The nursing home says it is looking into what happened.
Lawmakers in Australia have passed strict new gun laws following the terror attack at Bondi Beach. 15 people were killed, dozens wounded in that attack, which authorities say was inspired by the Islamic State. The New South Wales Parliament voted to limit the number of guns a single person can own. Public displays of flags or symbols by organizations including the Islamic State have also been banned, and violators could be jailed up to 2 years.
The remains of actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle have been cremated. Death certificates say the cremation took place last Friday at Mount Sinai Mortuary in Los Angeles. The couple was found fatally stabbed in their Brentwood home on December 14th, and authorities have charged their son Nick in their murder. Video shows the moment a mom slams her vehicle right into a group of alleged burglars. This happened in L.A. The woman had apparently just left her home, but then got a panicked call from a family member saying thieves were on the property. The mom rushed back, spotted the suspects, rammed her SUV into their car. Other cameras showed two men running away from the scene as soon as that woman came crashing home.
Waymo promising improvements after that power outage in San Francisco disrupted its self-driving taxis. There they are, just stopped right in the middle of the street. Nobody could move them. During the blackout, the vehicles stopped in intersections with hazard lights flashing. Waymo says the cars paused for safety checks due to the lack of traffic signals that were knocked out by the power outage. The company plans to enhance emergency response protocols, train more first responders, and update how vehicles handle intersections. Waymo's also working with city officials to better prepare for future emergencies.
Work out the kinks before you come to Chicago.
Oh,
please,
my goodness.
Please.
Yes. The FDA has approved the first ever GLP-1 weight loss pill.
This is a tablet version of Novo Nordisk's Wegovy. The daily pill contains semaglutide, that is the same active ingredient found in drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic injections. Clinical trials show that it can deliver similar results to the weekly shots. Until now, these drugs were only available via injection, which was a barrier to entry for some patients. Novo Nordisk has not revealed full pricing as of yet, but says the lowest dose will cost $149 a month for some folks that are paying out of pocket.
We know that obesity is one of the leading causes of death in America, and that if you can get this pill down to, $149 a month or $200 a month, a lot of Americans are going to be willing to pay that price in order to get off sort of their other medications related to obesity-related complications and to extend both the quality of their life and its length.
And yes, the demand here is there. The weight loss market is projected to reach a $150 billion mark in the next decade.
The magic pill for weight loss is here.
It is. Okay, holiday gratuities. This is one way to show our appreciation for folks who provide vital services throughout the year.
But exactly who should get a tip? And what is the latest etiquette? Kelly Saberi spoke with an expert and breaks it down for us.
The holiday season and the end of the year is a good time to give a special thanks to those who make your life easier.
Try to do the local, either trash pickup people.
If you look closely at the etiquette, customers should try to give a holiday gratuity to service professionals who play an ongoing role in their life. We're talking about nannies, housekeepers, landscapers, pool cleaners, home health care workers, doormen, and others.
We treat them good, respect, and they compensate you the right way.
You might also consider your regular hairstylist or manicurist, even though they usually get tipped per service. And Santa's got the right idea. Keep a list.
And when we do make the lists, to indicate how much we gave as a tip for that year. So this is an ongoing spreadsheet.
Next, the question becomes, what do you give?
Cash is most certainly king. If you're someone who can't procure the cash that you need and time is ticking, electronic is certainly better than nothing.
But everyone has to understand we are all living in tough economic times.
And no one should ever feel tip shamed into giving a gratuity or that there is a set limit that they must give.
When in doubt, do some research.
Speak with your neighbors about what they're doing.
And don't forget, presentation matters.
Don't simply hand someone, a fistful of crumpled bills. This should look thought out.
You may be relieved to know there are some people you should not tip. Professional workers like your doctor, lawyer, or accountant do not typically get a holiday gratuity. In Chicago, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
I've never thought about tipping my doctor, but I don't know. A fruit basket.
There you go.
You might be watched when you shop, how that can play a role in what you pay for products.
Yes, here is your invitation. This is official, everybody, to start 2026 off the right way with Fox Chicago. Join Anita Blanton and Jake Hamilton. They are going to be live from Tao Chicago nightclub as we celebrate New Year's. From Times Square all the way to Texas with performances by Bun B, Cupid, Cleo Fox, many more performers. Fox Local New Year's Eve live. That fiesta gets going at 10 p.m. on Fox 32 and Fox Local Chicago. We'll be right back.
Working in the building trades, I learned
When you shop online, let's take a live look outside first. I almost forgot that look at the bean. It looks a few tourists in town there checking that out. Okay, so when you shop online, how much are you paying attention to prices? Because you might be part of something called surveillance pricing. Privacy Bee CEO Harry Moggins joins us to break this all down. Harry, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us this Christmas Eve. What is surveillance pricing and how is this impacting us?
Sure. Surveillance pricing is a somewhat new trend where a lot of retailers are using data collected from data brokers and online sources and personalizing prices to the individual based on what they think you're able to or willing to pay. So a common example of this is Uber and Lyft have been either caught or accused of adjusting prices when you're trying to go somewhere more urgent, like a hospital or an airport, where you may have less other options.
Yeah, we just did a story the other day on Instacart. I think they were accused of charging some customers more for the same product at the same store at the same time. What role is AI playing behind the scenes in this?
Well, there's a lot of data out on people. They've been collecting data for many years. AI has made it more easy for a retailer to extract relevant trends or weaponize it in some cases against the consumer. So they have been tracking your buying behaviors, your online shopping history, your demographics, sociographics, psychographics, all the data they have on you as an individual. But now with AI, they can take all that information and crunch it into an algorithm that is predictive of, are you willing to pay $10 for this product or $12? And when you're shopping, usually you assume the price is the price that everybody sees. But nowadays, that's not the case anymore. Nowadays, they'll actually increase the price. They say decrease, but I've never seen that. They'll increase the price based on the data on the individual who's shopping.
Is there a way to opt out of this or wipe the data clean or maybe trick the system so that you get the lower price?
There's no perfect solution. Some people recommend using incognito, and depending on the browser, you can actually open a tab that doesn't have as much tracking associated with you. You can delete yourself from data brokers and clean up a lot of your digital footprint online. Companies like Privacy Bee can help clean that up, and that will decrease what they know about you, which can decrease the data points used to change the price on you as a shopper. And some people even go as far as using VPNs to connect to the website or the retailer from a totally different location. It's all just a cat and mouse game, though. Every time you try to circumvent, through a cookie or an IP or some tech way of getting around it, the data keeps on tracking, and it's a back and forth.
Someone might notice, I often notice this, that they search something on Google, or maybe I'll be looking at a particular product or something like that, and then all of a sudden I see ads for that product everywhere. Is that an example of us being watched?
That's an example. Yes, 100% it is. That's called retargeting or remarketing, where they use your browsing behavior and the information they collect on you across the internet to figure out what you're in market for or where you've been to target those ads to you, usually over programmatic. That's where things like ad block or removing yourself from certain data brokers or opting out from data brokers will limit that tracking. But if you're using a closed ecosystem or a walled garden like Facebook or Google's own search, you can only limit so much of that. At a certain point, it's better to be aware and educated of it, minimizing what you can, but understanding when you give your data up and how that can be used to customize your pricing and your experience.
I think I'm more concerned, though, about the price fixing, So is the FTC doing anything about this, or have they been talking about it?
They've had some conversations about it, and they're aware of surveillance pricing. It's becoming more of a hot issue in the last few months. There's been no official ruling yet from the FTC. I do believe we're going to see something in early 2026, though, because people are being price gouged. It's not fair to the shoppers and the consumers. And the worst part about it is because of AI and data brokers being able to leverage all this, people aren't even familiar with the fact that it's happening. It's just now becoming a conversation point. They just go on a website, buy a product, and assume that is the price. They don't know that the data behind the scenes said, hey, this person will pay an extra 17 cents, so let's bump the price a little bit for them. And consumers don't realize incognito mode privacy beat, data broker removal, VPNs. There's different ways to opt out can help save you money by limiting the tracking these companies have on you.
Harry, great information. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas.
Same to you. 8:27. Now let's check back in with Caplan.
It's cloudy out there this morning, but mild temperatures are on the way. Really, through the end of the week, we have some fog, we have some rain later on today and tonight. A full check of your forecast, including a big drop in temperatures for early next week, is coming up.
And Caitlin, we are looking at Christmas around the world and holidays of light here at MSI, a tradition that started in World War II that is turned into celebrating the world of cultures that we have. Coming up, we're going to show you around. This is the perfect Christmas Eve event to escape to. Plus, it's around until January 5th. We'll tell you all about it coming up.
Are you ready to
Welcome back. The Supreme Court has rejected President Trump's effort to put National Guard troops on the streets of Chicago.
Roseanne has more on this setback for the Trump administration. Hi, Roseanne.
Yes, and many political leaders in the city and in the state call this a victory. They say that the use of National Guard troops, the president's plan to use them in support of immigration enforcement, they call a blatant overreach of power. So right now, there are 300 National Guard troops stationed in northern Illinois under President Trump's control. He wanted to deploy them to assist federal officers in that immigration enforcement, but the court rejected that. They say the government has not shown that the law permits the president to federalize the Guard to protect federal personnel and property in Illinois. Governor J.B. Pritzker called it a big win for democracy, and other people we've talked to this morning agree with him.
It's an excellent thing. I think we have a very strong governor, and he has been doing his best to try to protect the state, and we are really delighted.
Now, Governor Pritzker said in a statement, the brave men and women of our National Guard should never be used for political theater and deserve to be with their families and communities, especially during the holidays, and ready to serve overseas or at home when called upon during times of immense need. Now, we did hear from a White House spokeswoman who said that this ruling will not stop President Trump's efforts to try and enforce immigration laws and also to safeguard the American public. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Okay, Roseanne, thank you for the update there. Other news, health officials say about 13 people are known to have been exposed to that dog that tested positive for rabies here in Chicago.
And we're learning the dog was in Paws Chicago's care this summer and again just days ago before it was euthanized. Officials still working to figure out how the virus was transmitted even though the dog was vaccinated.
A Wisconsin woman convicted in the Slender Man stabbing about a decade ago will be readmitted to a mental health institute. A judge revoked Morgan Geyser's conditional release on Tuesday. She and a friend were arrested near Chicago last month after Geyser left a group home in Madison. Geyser reportedly will not be appealing this decision.
Santa already flying in the sky today. NORAD has started tracking his around-the-world Christmas journey, so you better be good. He is still watching. Those elves are still out there, kids. I just told my daughter last night, I'm like, you know, there's still time for you to get a lump of coal in your stocking. Yep. You'll be able to follow Santa's trip on NORAD's website. We've been doing so all morning for you.
Okay, this budget proposal kind of limping to the finish line here. Chicago does have a budget, but the mayor says he will not sign it, but not stop it either.
Which I didn't even know was an option.
Yeah,
apparently it can go into effect without his signature. Brian is here with more.
Well, here's a look at how it's going to work. Yeah, the mayor is not going to veto the budget, but as you guys were saying, he's not signing it either. And what this means is the budget will take effect in the new year, the one that's been passed by City Council. Their plan calls for raising the cloud computing tax, increases the plastic bag fee, and also allows video gambling in bars and restaurants. The mayor says he opposes expanded debt collection and has signed an order to exempt medical debt for emergency and outpatient care.
So yes, we added some taxes to the largest corporations along with new safeguards, and we ensured that the PPLT was increased. So we have a lot to be proud of, and we still have a lot of work to do. It's like my mother would say after we would clean the house on Saturday mornings. When we thought we were done, she would say, "That's a good start."
Some city council members say that this is yet another sign that the mayor's leadership ability is slipping, but the mayor pushed back on that notion. Back over to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Brian. 8:34 now this morning. Caitlin is here, and unfortunately, no white Christmas this year, but a foggy one.
Yeah, you know, I was taking a look at this live shot, and there is still some snow. Some feathery snow.
Not a washout, not a total washout.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a cloudy day today. We have the chance for a little bit of drizzle this evening, tonight, and into early tomorrow. But the temperatures are going to be mild, so I'm starting to see a few people out and about this morning. I don't blame you. Yesterday, we were in the mid-50s. It was wonderful. And this morning, we're still quite comfortable. 38 degrees at the lakefront and O'Hare, 37 in Gary, 35 in Chicago Heights, low 30s in western areas. Next 48 hours show highs back to the mid-40s this afternoon, so not quite as warm as we were yesterday. We're taking about 10 degrees off, but it is still going to be above normal. That chance for rain starts to move in this afternoon, even more so this evening and tonight. And then tomorrow for Christmas Day, it's going to be a cloudy but mostly dry day with temperatures in the low 40s. We're starting off with some fog possible too. And then more wet weather is on the way tomorrow night into Friday. So here's your futurecast. Again, scattered showers expected this evening. As we move into tonight, drier air moves in. We do still have the clouds in place. Starting off Christmas morning, we could see some fog, then highs in the low 40s, and then we have that chance for wet weather again. So Thursday evening into early Friday, the chance for scattered rain showers. Temperature-wise, though, we're staying pretty comfortable through the end of the week. Friday, 46, Saturday, 46, then down to 41 degrees on Sunday. Early next week, starting off with the 20s on Monday and Tuesday. It's 8:36, so much more ahead. Stay with us.
This week, Jacksonville takes
Well, you can be just like Santa and take a Christmas trip around the world.
Don't even have to leave Chicago to do it. Gabriella Primus is live with Christmas Around the World. This is all happening at the Griffin Museum of Science and Industry. How beautiful. What are we looking at here, Gabriella?
Hey, you know what? I just have to spread the Christmas cheer, you guys. You're looking at the big, giant, beautiful Christmas tree in MSI in the Rotunda that is transformed for Christmas, for the holidays. We're talking all about it. I have Matt Porth with me. Matt, you're with MSI. It's so exciting this time of year.
Absolutely.
Today through January 5th is when you can explore. But interesting history that this started with just one tree back in the 1940s.
That is correct. 1942, our then President Lennox Lore wanted to create an exhibit that kind of was all about patriotism. So the first tree was much, much smaller than our grand tree, and it was actually changed out or redecorated every night for 12 straight days. So it was different each of those 12 days. And those trees, that redecoration reflected the Allied forces that were fighting in World War II with the United States. It was so patriotic. Chicagoans loved it. It became such a big hit that we just continue to do it every year, and it's grown and grown and grown since then.
55 trees
55 trees this year. Yep.
What does it mean to be able to, incorporate all these different cultures into once was just, a simple tradition?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the great thing about this exhibit is I feel like it's always great to learn as much about different countries, cultures as possible, and that's what this exhibit really lets you do at a fun, festive holiday setting. People can expect to learn a lot and have a great time. And walk away in a festive mood.
I'm guessing people have made this tradition since it's been around for so long, generations after generations, coming here on Christmas Eve and beyond.
We see a lot of the same families every year coming, like, hey, remember me, and hey, oh, it looks so great this year, and it's just a whole thing that people enjoy.
And what I love to hear is that a lot of these, countries are showing their representation, but it's a different tree that you might see, a different variation of it every year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this one from Thailand. It's so beautiful and colorful. Caught my eye right away.
The Thailand tree is always so beautiful, and it's really a good representation of the culture, the Thai culture, with everything like the costumes or let's just say costumes, clothes they may wear around the holidays, but also some other interesting, really cool things like the dishes that you might see in a home, especially around the holidays, the fine china, if you will. And then the Thailand tree always has a series of musical instruments. There's bells, there's this thing. Ooh, that sounds really good. We play like that. And then there's like a guitar type thing, a string instrument on the side. So kids are okay to come and tap that if they want to when they come to the Griffin Museum of Science and Industry for Christmas. But it's beautiful. It's colorful, like you said, it eye pops, and it's a great representation of Thailand and how they might celebrate.
Is there some kind of criteria, obviously, for people who come here? I mean, every one of them is so gorgeous and different, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really put a criteria. We just ask them to really think and then to change things up every few years if they can. This here is the Assyrian tree. Assyria, which covers a series of countries, Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Lebanon, is always beautiful and always colorful. And this year, they really focused on their deity, a deity that's all about strength and knowledge. So that's what those statues are at the base. And then they've completely put different variations of it throughout the tree. End result, like I said, colorful, eye-popping, and really get you interested.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep,
why would you say it's, a good call to action for people to come here today for Christmas Eve? And of course, maybe if they can't make it today, through January 5th.
Absolutely. I think, again, come down, learn something new about a different country or culture you may not be aware of or don't know a lot. You can also learn about other holidays that are celebrated in the Holidays of Light section. And if you're missing snow, it does snow here every day in the top of the bottom of the hour.
When I heard someone say that, I go, wait a second, they must be joking. I'm not gonna ask.
No, it snows.
No, really, every half hour.
Every half hour, and it's the only time it snows in Chicago, and you don't have to worry about dibs.
No kidding.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So it's all the way around the Rotunda, guys.
Yep.
You're seeing it right now. It's not just in this little, circle when you first enter the Rotunda area. It is all the way around. Okay, coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to talk a little bit more of the Holidays of Light section and show you some of those beautiful displays too, point out a couple other trees. But now through January 5th, they're closed tomorrow, though. We'll have more information on our website, fox32chicago.com. Here at MSI, I will send it back to you.
Beautiful. never seen the rotunda look quite that spectacular. Gabby,
so many
thank you.
fun things there to check out, and when the kids are off school the next couple weeks.
Perfect activity.
Yep. Season of Giving, Fox 32 Chicago, PNC Bank, and the Chicago Bears are teaming up with the Greater Chicago Food Depository to help feed local families in need. And you can help out by going online to chicagosfoodbank.org.
You're watching.
Okay, could there be a scientific reason why folks love Christmas music so much? Well, the answer may be.
Maybe. Gary Baumgarten digs into why people always enjoy the songs of the season.
Christmas bells are ringing, calling, calling.
As the songs of the season keep filling the air, music scholars like Kimberly Souther of Clemson University say it's not uncommon for Christmas tunes to ignite nostalgia.
It brings us back to our childhood and all those wonderful memories that we had when we were young with Santa and family.
And many songs we have today can trace their roots back home more than 600 years.
Well, Christmas carols actually began as just carols in the 14th, 15th, 16th century. So they were songs that people would sing in the streets, or they would sing them for religious services. And then this book came out called the Oxford Carols. So families would purchase this book of carols, and they were predominantly about Christmas time.
According to Dr. Souther, a lot of other popular Christmas music comes from the 1940s and 50s. Still, different family traditions may also influence people's choices.
What did you listen to in the home when you were growing up? Then you continue that tradition with your family and maybe add into the mix as well.
But because experts say many people crave classic Christmas music, it can be hard for new songs to break through.
A lot of times you hear artists and they're doing a remake, of a popular tune that we already know that's been around for 100 years.
Dr. Souther says social media apps with their algorithms can help expose audiences to new sounds and expand their holiday soundtracks.
It's good to kind of explore and to dig a little bit deeper. There's some incredible artists because we have these platforms.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
I'm not surprised that folks gravitate toward what is familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have
about
exactly? Do you have a favorite go-to?
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Yeah, that tracks.
Kind of a fun
that
one.
tracks.
Yeah.
Caitlin, how about you?
Christmas song?
Yeah.
I like them all. Do you remember my favorite, Anthony?
I don't.
Pentatonics.
Oh, that's right. The
Little
Pentatonics.
Drummer Boy. Yes. Every time. Listen to it when you're in the car. Turn it up. Yes, it's so good. The kiddos will like it too. All right, talking about the weather. Happy Christmas Eve, by the way. Temperatures, they're in the 30s this morning. It's cloudy. You can see it's kind of gray. We warned you. Well, we have the chance for some drizzle later on today, along with the clouds. Temperature-wise, though, we are going to be nice and mild again. Not quite as warm as we were yesterday, so let's talk about it. 38 degrees at the lakefront and O'Hare, 31 in Aurora, freezing from Morris to 33 at LaSalle. Temperatures in northwest Indiana ranging from the low to upper 30s right now. Here is your day planner. So by 11, we're around 41 degrees. By 1, 44. So temperatures back to the mid and upper 40s today. This evening and tonight, we have the chance for a little bit of scattered rain. And then tomorrow is going to be mostly dry for Christmas Day with a high of 42. It's going to be a cloudy day, though, and then the chance for wet weather is back Thursday night into Friday. Friday's high, 46. Here's a big picture satellite and radar look where we do have the clouds in place over the city. 7-day outlook does show that chance for wet weather this evening tonight, then again tomorrow night into early Friday, which, by the way, for Christmas, tomorrow morning, we could see some fog throughout the area. Temperatures this weekend are going to be mild, 46 degrees Saturday, cooler on Sunday at 41. But next week, we really get cold. Notice Monday's high 20 and then 28 degrees expected on Tuesday. So chilly temperatures to start off next week. In the meantime, it is going to be mild for the stretch ahead. Today, right around 47. I still encourage you to get outside and enjoy it, especially the first half of the day before that potential for rain moves in. It's 8:49. We have so much more ahead. Stay with us.
AAA says more than 120 million Americans are traveling this holidays. That is so many. Federal Aviation Administration is expecting more than 35,000 flights just today.
Yeah, I think the population's 300 million in that range. That means almost half. Almost half of people are going somewhere. Asher Red is at Nashville International Airport with more. Asher, we got to ask you, with you being in Nashville, do you ever see any country music stars going in and out of that airport?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I was talking with someone the other day. I barely missed Jelly Roll one time. And they come through and they go right through these gates, which are actually surprisingly light today compared to what it usually is. I fly out of here on a weekly basis, and I'm a little jealous at how quick those lines are. But even folks who are traveling today, they are pushing their limits because if they're trying to make it to their destinations by Christmas, we really hope they don't bump into a delay. Now, AAA is expecting 109 million people to drive to their destinations this year. 8 million people will fly in and nearly 5 million people will either take a cruise or hop on a train. Some folks in the Northeast are forecasted to have a white Christmas, but travel experts are keeping an eye on airports in states like New York and Massachusetts for potential delays. Meanwhile, heavy rain out west could delay travelers on the West Coast, but some travelers, especially here, say they're trying to stay optimistic.
And it wasn't bad last year. Hopefully it's not bad this year. If it's anything like last year, hopefully it's the same. It was easy last year, so it wasn't that bad.
But there's a bright side to this holiday season. Folks driving to their destinations might notice cheaper gas prices. AAA says the national average is around $2.85 a gallon, which is about 20 cents cheaper than this time last year. Experts say the timing of this Christmas and New Year's is great for travel.
Thing about this holiday season is the way that Christmas and New Year's fall. We're actually spreading out travelers across a little over 2 weeks. So we've actually seen some of those supposedly busiest days earlier this week, the 19th, 20th, and 21st, didn't even crack the top 50 of busiest days of 2025.
And TSA says the busiest travel day for the rest of this holiday season will be on Sunday, when 3 million passengers are all trying to get home at the same time. And if you're trying to drive that day, experts say you might want to leave before 9 a.m. It could save you the headache. Natalie and Anthony?
Good advice.
Good advice.
Thanks, Asher.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you, Asher.
All right, here's a holiday story for you, Anthony. Santa might come down the chimney, but rats, they are coming right up through the toilet in Seattle.
Indeed, they're going vertical. Health officials have come up with a very unique awareness campaign to warn people. Maybe they're putting it in cartoon form because the reality of this is so frightening.
Ugh.
There's been flooding, which is actually forcing the rats into the sewer. The Seattle Health Department has put out a series of cartoons on its Facebook page walking you through what to do in the event that you get an unexpected visitor during that trip to the toilet. Though the image has the person looking that rat right in the eye, the advice here is to flush it right back down. And it says if the rat's too big, close the lid, call the pest company ASAP.
I don't know what is more frightening, like the pythons that we see coming out of the toilets, right?
Through.
Or the...
Those rats are swimmers, too. They are like the ultimate survivors. I'm frightened. Okay.
The new drama, Song Sung Blue, stars Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson about a real-life Milwaukee couple who made headlines when they created a Neil Diamond tribute band, forever changing their lives.
Jake Hamilton spoke with Hugh and his co-star from Chicago, Jim Belushi, about the film.
I love that Mike just wants people to understand that Neil Diamond is much more than Sweet Caroline. He also has Suleiman. And I think anyone, Mr. Jackman, who knows your career knows that you are much more than Wolverine. You've got so many other roles that have reminded me of why I love movies. So I'd love to know if Wolverine is your Sweet Caroline,
right,
what performance is your Suleiman, the one that you would like more people to know and appreciate?
Prisoners, The Fountain. Yeah, I think those are the ones. My kids would say Flushed Away.
Buckle up, everyone.
One of the things I love about this movie, it is such a love letter to the struggle, those early days when all you want to do is entertain people.
I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a sex symbol. I just want to entertain people.
What was your favorite thing about those early days, those days when you were struggling, when all you wanted to do was entertain a few folks? It didn't matter how many folks it was. What's your favorite memory of that time in your career?
Oh, clowning at a kid's party. At one point, one of the kids, it was his birthday. Mom, this clown is crap. 8. This kid was 8. I was like, I've reached my limit. I'm out.
Mr. Belushi, there's a great scene in this film where you book a show for the band in a Southside Chicago bar.
Oh boy! Here we go.
So I know you have visited a Chicago bar or two in your day. I'd love to know what is the Chicago bar experience that turned out differently than you expected.
I've had a few fist fights in the Chicago bar. Have you? Yeah. What's the tail of the tape? How many did you come out on top?
Well, I kind of pushed it to the side,
and snuck out because as an actor, you don't want to get hit in the face. Like,
Next time you're back in town, man.
Let someone else.
Money maker, right here.
That's it.
Wow.
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago at 9 o'clock. Here's a look at some of the stories we have for you this morning, including the Supreme Court has just weighed in on the Trump administration's efforts to bring the National Guard to Chicago.
We are also taking a look at holiday travel gearing up. We've got a live report on what you can expect when you fly the friendly skies or any other airline.
And not so friendly, cold and flu season is underway. We're getting some tips on how to make sure you stay safe this winter. And speaking of winter, it's not quite feeling like winter outside for
54 yesterday.
It was beautiful right there. No white Christmas this time around, Caitlin, but we will definitely take these warmer temperatures while we
Brian, yesterday I went for a walk in the afternoon, and when I tell you it gave me life to be outside, and it felt so good. It was beautiful. Today, it's not going to be quite as lovely looking, but the temperatures are still mild. We're going to be in the upper 40s, and we have the chance for rain later on. So if you can get outside early today, that would be a good time to do it. Temperatures now are in the 30s. Rain chance, I mentioned, it'll be here around 3 to 4 through the evening, on and off light rain into tonight. Tonight, some fog is going to develop, and then mainly dry for Christmas Day. Cold weather is going to be back early next week, so enjoy this stretch of mild conditions that we have in front of us. The Shed Aquarium camera, I keep checking in because there are a few more people every time I look. A great time to walk around downtown, too, on this Christmas Eve. 37 degrees outside now at the lakefront, 38 at O'Hare, 33 in Aurora, freezing in Morris, 37 in Kankakee. Temperatures in northwest Indiana in the mid to upper 30s right now. As mentioned, temperatures climbing to the mid and upper 40s today. And then this evening, the chance for a little bit of light rain. Tonight, some fog. So Santa is going to need some extra help tonight from Rudolph because it is going to be foggy. And then tomorrow, cloudy with temperatures in the low 40s, so a mild Christmas is ahead. Here's your futurecast. Let's time out that potential for wet weather. As mentioned, this afternoon, this evening, 8 o'clock, we still see some scattered rain. By around 11, drier skies are here, and fog is possible tomorrow morning, as I just mentioned. On Thursday, we're going to have the clouds in place with that chance for rain returning Thursday night into early Friday. Temperature-wise, though, still feeling good. Even at the end of the week, temperatures are going to be in the 40s over the next couple of days. 7-day outlook does show 46 degrees on Saturday, 41 Sunday, and then I mentioned the cold on the way early next week. Highs only in the 20s on Monday and Tuesday. Back to you.
All right, the Supreme Court is blocking an effort by the Trump administration to bring National Guard troops to the streets of Chicago.
Roseanne is live this morning with the latest. Roseanne?
Well, this was really a rare setback. President Trump has won repeatedly in other emergency appeals like this, but political leaders here in Chicago and across the state are calling it a win. Right now, some 300 National Guard troops stationed in northern Illinois are under President Trump's control. He wanted to deploy them to assist federal officers in immigration enforcement, but the High Court rejected the request. They said the government's failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois. Some Chicagoans we talked to tell us they didn't want the Guard here.
My beef was that they weren't needed at all. We have some problems of crime, but they don't help. They're not trained to do it. They're not useful. It was just a political ploy for him to try to beat Chicago, who he doesn't like, into submission.
Reaction from Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth now, who said it's long past time for the Trump administration to back off Chicago. The majority of Americans believe they've gone too far, and even the Supreme Court's conservative supermajority refused to greenlight this blatantly unlawful overreach. Now, conservative justices Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, and Neil Gorsuch all dissented in this opinion. But this opinion could certainly have an impact on the deployment of National Guard troops in other cities across the country. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Well, we're also getting some new details this morning about Cook County's first rabid dog in more than 60 years. Paul Chicago says a dog that tested positive for rabies was in their care earlier this summer. Now, he came from one of their partner shelters in Georgia and was given vaccinations in June and then was adopted in July. But just days ago, the family who adopted the dog said it bit one of them, and they brought it back for a risk assessment. Vets at Paws made the decision to euthanize the dog. It was diagnosed with rabies after the postmortem testing. This is now the first positive rabies case in Cook County since before 1964, and the first in the state of Illinois since 1994.
Pope Leo XIV disapproves of Illinois' new assisted suicide legislation. The governor signed Deb's Law this month, which allows a terminally ill patient to ask for a prescription medication to pass away peacefully. That is only if they meet certain conditions and have a doctor's approval. Pope says he is, quote, very disappointed by the decision and claims he urged Governor Pritzker not to sign the bill.
I would invite all people, especially in these Christmas feast days, to reflect upon the nature of human life, the goodness of human life. God became human like us to show us what it means really to live human life. And I hope and pray that the respect for life will once again grow in all moments of human existence, from conception to natural death.
11 other states do allow medically assisted suicide. Reports say 7 other states are considering passing a law to allow it as well.
The Gurnee Police Department is stepping up efforts to help the community. They're launching a new team specialized in mental health care. 2 people comprise their Crisis Assistance Response Engagement Team, also known as CARE. The officer and licensed social worker will respond to scenes and help those experiencing a mental health crisis. Their goal is to provide a direct connection to those with mental health illnesses and ease fears in the community. Residents can request information or services on the Village of Gurnee website.
Just got a new police chief there in Gurnee at the beginning of the month, Jeremy Gaughan. All right, Illinois and 18 other states are suing to block the Trump administration from stripping funds for some gender-affirming care. The plan would cut off Medicaid and Medicare payments to any hospital that provides minors with gender-related treatments. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has called those treatments malpractice, but the states argue the job of regulating medical practice belongs to the states, not the federal government.
And a federal judge has decided that letting schools keep students' gender transition secret from parents is unconstitutional. The ruling comes from California, forcing teachers to hide the information. The decision makes it clear that patients have the right to know if their child is transitioning, and teachers have the right to tell them. Our former Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse says he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He posted on X that the cancer is now spread to other parts of his body and he doesn't have much longer to live. Pancreatic cancer is extremely tough to diagnose because the symptoms don't usually show up until it's almost too late. Cardinal Blaise Cupich will lead an annual midnight mass at the Holy Name Cathedral. The church will start letting people who pre-registered in at 11, and the carols are going to begin at 11:30. Now, if you can't make it tonight, the church will live stream the service over its YouTube channel.
Everybody's into this.
Oh, yeah.
NORAD.
We got the music.
Yeah, we do.
The little jingle.
The little jingle leading into this. NORAD has started tracking Santa. He is already making his trip around the world. NORAD and its predecessor started tracking Santa about 70 years ago, all because of a mistake. After all, he's not a national security threat. But back in 1955, Sears printed a number it said was to call Santa. Well, oops, wrong number. It went to the military unit that preceded NORAD. An Air Force colonel picked up the phone, and when he realized what was happening, instead of hanging up on the child, he played along and issued an order to other officers to do so as well.
Love that he took that extra step.
That's right.
Hey, everybody get on board with
Keep it going. Keep it going. All right, this is a biggie. Tonight's Powerball, $1.7 billion. That's right, billion with a B. It's enough to put Santa on the beach forever. Of course, there's a reason why it's so big. Nobody's won in 3 months plus. Your odds of winning 1 in 292 million. For comparison, your odds of being killed by a vending machine, 1 in 112 million. That's why I'm always, my head is like on a pivot watching to see if there's a vending machine.
You can imagine like if the pop light just kind of like comes out of the machine.
That's something like that. Scary stuff. All right, we are in the middle of a pretty severe flu season. We've been reporting that.
Yeah, we have. In just a few minutes, we're getting some tips on how to keep yourself healthy this holiday season.
And your invitation to start 2026 off the right way. That's with Fox Chicago. Join Anita Blanton, Jake Hamilton. They will be live at Tao Chicago Nightclub as we celebrate New Year's from Times Square to Texas. We're going to have performances by Bun B, Cupid, Cleo Fox, and more. Fox Local New Year's Eve Live. The party starts at 10 p.m. on Fox 32 and Fox Local Chicago.
I'm Jonathan Law.
Flu cases, they are on the rise across the United States, and with all the traveling, mingling you're going to be doing this holiday season, it's important that you keep yourself and your family from getting sick, if at all possible. We're getting some tips on doing just that, staying healthy, with Eileen Manojlovic. She's at Rush University's Medical Center. Eileen, thanks for joining us this morning. Why do you think there has been a surge in flu cases? It just seems to me like it's a bigger news headline maybe earlier in the year than normal.
We typically see this time go up from a lot of people traveling and going to gatherings. A lot of people go and they're not feeling well, so they're in small contained areas and they're passing it around a little bit quicker. So this time of year, we see the increase in the influenza A usually, and that's what we're seeing right now. We do have some sporadic RSVs and COVIDs and influenza Bs, but the highest one we're seeing right now is influenza A, which is pretty typical for this time of year.
And we're hearing this is the subclade K, which is the variant that's out there right now. What has the Rush team been seeing maybe locally here in the Chicago area? Is this something that's, a bigger problem in New York, or are we seeing it here in Chicagoland too?
We're seeing the influenza A very high right now. A lot of people are testing positive for that strain. So I think it's pretty comparable to New York's numbers, but we are seeing a high number in the area across the hospitals and systems.
Yeah, we're looking there at a national map, which actually kind of shows the Illinois and Northwest Indiana area not as bad as some other parts of the country. But do you think that things are going to get worse here in Chicagoland? Do you expect an even bigger surge with the core of winter still ahead of us?
Yes, we'll see influenza A will continue to go on the rise. Then we see influenza B come a little bit later in the season. So towards the end of January, February is when we see that pick up. And then we'll see the COVID and RSV numbers go up usually too.
All right, what do we need to do to try and keep ourselves safe? We have to see people. We're going to be out there mingling. It is the holiday season. What can we do to maybe minimize the risk? Is it boiling down to washing our hands all the time? What do you recommend?
Well, that's one of the biggest keys you can do. Avoid touching your face and always washing your hands is two of the biggest things you can do. Other things are making sure you keep healthy, making sure you're sleeping enough, you're getting, 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, you are taking all of your prescribed medications on time every day. You can add supplements to your routines too. I always say if you're on any kind of medication or medical health history, make sure you check with your primary doctor or pharmacist before you add any supplement, but there are some good immune support supplements out there, usually containing vitamin C's and zincs and other supplements that help boost immunity, and making sure you exercise and are eating well too to keep from getting sick. And then if you do get sick, it will help with your immune being a little bit higher to fight off the illness as well.
I've been reading that the flu shots are not as effective at this particular type of flu yet. Usually the efficacy rates are a little bit higher than what we're seeing now. Do you still recommend that people get a flu shot? Is this for everybody? Is it mainly for older folks? What do you suggest?
Well, we always want to make sure that you're checking in with your primary doctor before you get any immunization, just to make sure that you're qualified to get it. But most people can get the flu shot without any type of interaction with their medical health history. It's very effective in the older and younger populations, any populations that are immunocompromised. Should be getting it. And most clinics do have that. So if your primary can't see you, but they recommend it, you can usually we have our urgent cares that do offer it, and other urgent cares and walk-in clinics too.
When do we know that we need to go to a doctor? A mild fever and a sore throat, I think a lot of folks are going to say, hey, I can take care of that at home. What's kind of a red flag that folks should be like, hey, when somebody in my family gets this, they need to go to the doctor right away? What do you suggest?
So again, it's very hard to say in a generalized statement because you do have to take into consideration people's history, if they're immunocompromised, if they're older or younger. Mainly, the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you control the fever and symptoms as best as possible. If any time you're unable to control the fever and it's, hitting higher numbers and not responding to Tylenol or Motrin, you're not able to drink fluids and keep yourself hydrated, that's definitely when you want to at least touch base with a provider to see if there's anything they can offer to help with the symptoms. If you're sick, you want to cover your cough, you want to stay away from people while you're having a fever, and usually 24 hours after that to help decrease the spread of the illness.
Okay.
But if at any point you just don't feel well and there's a lot of weakness and you're not able to eat and drink, that's usually when you want to make sure you check in with a provider.
All right. Eileen Manojlovic, we appreciate you checking in there from Rush University Medical Center, giving us some very helpful information. Have a great holiday, and thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks. You too. Happy holidays.
All right. Brian?
Well, this year's holiday season is expected to drive some record revenues for stores, but it's also leading to an increase in fraud. Griff Jenkins has more on how AI is now being used to fight the spike in seasonal fraud.
Refund requests and fraudulent charge disputes are expected to be on the rise this holiday season. A new Payments.com report shows more merchants bracing for a surge in fraud attempts, many fueled by the growing use of AI, which is driving more sophisticated scams and cyber attacks targeting consumers.
You know, scammers prey on people during holiday because people are distracted. They're buying gifts, they're online, they're on social channels, which is a really big area of scammer exploitation.
Cybersecurity company McAfee estimates that 1 in 3 consumers ages 18 to 34 have fallen victim to deepfake scams. And 88% of Americans say they believe AI has increased both the number and sophistication of scams compared to years past.
You have to do a little bit more due diligence.
I will just try to use best judgment. They're looking so real at this point that it's hard to tell.
But even as AI makes scams more prevalent this season, artificial intelligence is also helping merchants fight fraud at an unprecedented scale.
They're investing in behavioral analytic techniques and AI technologies themselves to try to alert consumers of the possibility of being exploited.
Still, 30 and 40% of merchants say they are finding gaps in fraud management tools and worry there are too few resources to fully protect consumers. Many shoppers say they feel the same.
I feel like I'm a pretty savvy person, but of course as AI gets more smart, like you never know.
People need to be aware. If it sounds too good to be true, it typically is. But at the end of the day, people have to be on their guard.
And that same holiday report warning of increased fraud this year says fraud prevention can no longer be a seasonal effort. It says heightened vigilance around AI should continue well after the holiday season. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Yeah, this is really scary. Just look at how many, posts we see on social media that are complete fakes, but then there's so many people on there that are, believing these things. And I'm not trying to insult, their intelligence, because the stuff is you have to really...
Oh, it's on my phone, it's real,
Yeah, so you got to be careful.
Yes, be careful, think twice. If they're rushing you into making a decision, that's usually a telltale sign. It's probably not something you want to do.
It's not.
Sleep on it.
Right, it's no longer, hi, I'm a Nigerian prince. That thing has gotten more sophisticated than that, that's for sure.
All right, time now 9:20 this morning. We'll be right back with much more Good Day Chicago.
Christmas Eve, everybody. Yeah, a little bit of sun coming through some of those mid-level and high clouds out there. It's still going to end up being a mostly cloudy day, but temperatures on the mild side. Yesterday we hit 54.
Beautiful outside. Should have went for a run. Had to wait, yes, right? Well, the Griffin Museum of Science and Industry, they're helping us celebrate Christmas around the world with their annual tradition.
I remember going to this when I was a kid. We took the field trip there to see Christmas around the world. Gabby, let's take a closer look with you.
Mike, that is so sweet. You know what? You can come back today. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to put this on their list for the next few days until January 5th is when this display is open. Look at this giant Christmas tree. As soon as you come in to the rotunda, you're going to be surrounded from all different cultures are represented here. And I'm with Amelia. Amelia, also, of course, we have the displays for Holidays of Light as well. When people come in, though, I mean, what's the reaction to seeing all these beautiful Christmas trees?
I love to be here in the rotunda and watch people just come up the escalators and watch their jaw drop when they see all the beauty and the magic.
Okay, so this Holiday of Light display shows Hanukkah, obviously.
Yes, so in addition to all the beautiful trees, we have 10 Holidays of Light displays that kind of highlight the other traditions and holidays besides Christmas that are celebrated during winter. So we've got Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Diwali, Lunar New Year, and more.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to take closer looks at some of these trees because they're just so beautiful. You pointed out that this one also holds kind of a history lesson, right?
I love the Slovakia tree. The Slovakia folks always have so much fun with their tree because they incorporate a lot of Slovakian history and tie it in with Chicago, and they tie it in with science as well. So, of course, here at the Griffin Museum of Science and Industry, we believe science is for everyone, and we like to make it fun. And I really feel like their tree represents that. They always have an awesome Lego display, and then these cool fun facts.
Oh, that's so cool. And you can point out places that you might be traveling to or you have traveled to, maybe your family's friend.
Yes.
You're going to Egypt on a trip, and so you said this one, of course, catches your eye.
Of course, Egypt is my favorite tree every year, but this year I'm especially excited since my husband and I are planning a trip there. And we just have these beautiful, simple gold ornaments. We've got the Coptic Christian influence. We've got the ancient Egyptian influence, and it just ties in like an extra bit of that holiday magic for me.
You know, we talked about in the 8 o'clock hour the history behind this event and how it started with just the one tree, was changed every day for the 12 days, you know, to represent the Allied forces during World War II. And now it's turned into all these cultures.
Yes.
Obviously, it's happening for years and years. It's become a tradition, you said, for a lot of families.
Yes. So, you know, Chicago is a world city, and so many people love to come here and see their own cultures and heritages reflected in these trees. Each tree has something new each year for you to see, so you can come back every year and discover something new in the exhibit, and it's just so cool and so fun.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Anything extra impressive that you've seen out of the trees that we maybe aren't showing right here, so that people have something to look for when they come?
Well, there's a fun little Easter egg inside of the Slovakia tree, since we're standing here, that people can look for that is related to our Spider-Man exhibit, which is right across from it. So I will say that. But then also a lot of the tree bases, like Mexico has one of my favorite tree bases. There's a lot of things to discover underneath of the trees as well. So things that people can sort of touch or take a look at. And a lot of them are handmade. So.
You know, why is it so important, you think, to have all these different cultures represented in one space, away from, you know, the original concept of just having the one?
Again, I feel like Chicago's a world city. This is a world community, and we really want to represent that here and represent community and togetherness.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you guys, everywhere you look here in the Rotunda, plus every half hour, too bad you weren't with us the next couple minutes, snow comes from the ceiling, actual snow, to make it even more festive at the top of every half hour. Okay, we'll have more information about this event on our website, fox32chicago.com. Remember, it goes through now through January 5th. It's closed tomorrow. Make this your holiday tradition.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Amelia, for having us. Gorgeous, guys. Best way to start Christmas Eve I've had in a long time, I will say.
It's pretty there. And I love the fact that there's an Easter egg in the Christmas tree.
I love that they said let it snow, right? They got to play Boys to Men when the snow comes down, right? That'd be pretty cool.
Thanks, Gabby.
All right, well, every family makes a tradition out of getting their Christmas tree. In Richardson Tree Farm in Spring Grove, They've been making that experience special for decades.
We are taking you along with us to see the magic for yourself.
It began with pagan rituals of bringing evergreen boughs into your home in the wintertime to remind you that spring will come, that there is life everlasting, even in the cold, bitter winters. You get fresh evergreen boughs in there, and they stay green all winter long. That's kind of the start of the Christmas tree tradition. Our farm has been here since 1836, and this land we're standing on is part of the original homestead by my great-great-grandfather and his brother. Farming has changed a lot over the years. It was a dairy farm when I was a kid growing up. Brother and I each decided separately we wanted to come back to the farm, raise our families here. And my parents said, well, boys, what's next? And we're like, well, I don't know. What do you mean, what's next? But they knew that nothing ever stays the same, particularly in farming. You need to change with the times. We had some areas of this field that was pasture for the dairy cows. We weren't utilizing that ground. And we searched for, vegetable crops and strawberries and apple orchards. We decided we're going to plant some Christmas tree seedlings. So they're about 14 to 20 inches when we buy them. We planted 1,000 trees every year as kind of a nice little side hobby for raising pigs, corn and soybeans. When we sold our first trees in 1987, we just put a sign up on the road, said, we got trees for sale, and we sold like 186 trees or something. And we really got to looking forward to these happy people coming to our farm. We enjoyed talking with people. They're more fun to talk with than pigs all day long. We kept expanding. Then we planted 2,000 trees a year, then 3,000 trees a year. As business kept growing, we must have done something right because we sold more and more trees. People liked what they were seeing, and we were having a ball with it. Any type of evergreen tree can be a Christmas tree. There are different varieties that grow in different parts of the country. White pines are native through all of this part of Illinois and Wisconsin. They grow fantastic. They're fabulous trees. We bring up the Canaan firs, Fraser firs. Native seed source is North Carolina, Virginia, so it's quite a bit different here. When we buy the seedlings, they're about 14 to 20 inches tall, and they grow about a foot a year. So in 7 years, we'll have trees that are about an average of 7 feet. These trees behind me are in their 9th year, I think, and there's mostly, there's a 5-footer right next to me, so they're all different, just like people, I guess. What makes a good Christmas tree is how you trim it or shear it, shape it over the years. Almost every year, every tree needs to have a little bit of a haircut to keep it into that nice shape. And when you clip the tips of the fresh branches, it'll add more buds and fill out and make that nice shape. All of my trees are really, really good. So, and it's very fun. We're out in the fields and people are walking all around, and there's hats and gloves on the top, and then you hear your kids going, Dad, come over here, and they're searching for the perfect one. On our farm, I'd say about 80% of the people take the wagon rides. We have free wagon rides running all through the farms. It's just fun to just kind of get out and see the open spaces, walk around with the kids and the dogs and everything. Then you get the warm barn where you can go inside, hot chocolate, hot cider, beer, wine, gelato, all the gifts and the fresh wreaths that we make. We buy a wreath ring, which has clamps all the way around the rings. There's an art form to making the wreaths. A lot of times we buy in greens because we don't produce enough extra greens. Sometimes we'll cut down a tree that's not quite perfect. The lawnmower ran into a branch, and we'll cut that up and make our wreaths out of that. You just kind of lay out those very carefully around a circle so it's nice and even, and get a beautiful wreath. Then we got the bow makers that make the bows, and then the decorators that put all the different decorations on. And there's nothing that beats the aroma of a fresh evergreen tree in your house. I'd like to point out to people that Christmas trees are a crop, and they are grown specifically for this purpose. So once in a while I hear like, oh, it's a shame to cut down this tree, it's so beautiful. But I've grown them for this purpose. They need to be cut. So it's like corn and soybeans that grow all season long, and then we harvest them. Real trees are best for the environment. They're a home for wildlife all the years that they're growing, They're absorbing carbon dioxide, producing oxygen, and it's a 100% renewable, sustainable resource. 100% recycled after you've used it at Christmas time, goes right back into the earth. And us farmers, when we harvest a tree, we're going to plant new ones, so we always have Christmas trees growing.
Quickly, Mike, how long does your tree stay up post-Christmas?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. I'm like, January 1st?
Done.
All right, we'll be right back. AAA says more than 120 million Americans are traveling this holiday season. The Federal Aviation Administration is expecting more than 35,000 flights today.
Asher Red is at Nashville International Airport with more. Asher, how busy is it there in Tennessee?
Well, Mike and Brian, I'm kind of jealous. I just looked over behind my shoulder to see what the TSA line that I usually go through looks like, and to my surprise, there's no one in the line. Now, folks who are traveling today, they could be cutting it close, especially if they're trying to get to their destination before Christmas Day. AAA is expecting about 109 million people to drive to their destinations this year. 8 million will fly, and nearly 5 million will either take a cruise or hop on a train. Now, some folks in the Northeast are forecasted to have a white Christmas, but travel experts are keeping an eye on airports in states like New York and Massachusetts for potential delays. Meanwhile, heavy rain out west could delay travelers on the West Coast, but some travelers here say they're just trying to stay optimistic.
And it wasn't bad last year. Hopefully it's not bad this year. If it's anything like last year, hopefully it's the same. It was easy last year, so it wasn't that bad.
But there's a bright side to this holiday season. Folks driving to their destination might notice cheaper gas prices. AAA says the national average is about $2.85 a gallon, which is about 20 cents cheaper than last year. Experts say the timing of Christmas and New Year's this year is also great for travel.
The actual nice thing about this holiday season is the way that Christmas and New Year's fall. We're actually spreading out travelers across almost a little over 2 weeks. So we've actually seen some of those supposedly busiest days earlier this week, the 19th, 20th, and 21st, didn't even crack the top 50 of busiest days of 2025.
And TSA says Sunday will be the busiest day at the airport with nearly 3 million passengers trying to get home. And if you're going to drive home, experts say you might want to leave home to get there by about 9 a.m. every morning. Mike and Brian?
All right. Get out the door early. Don't wait till lunch. Asher, thanks so much.
All right, the Supreme Court has rejected President Trump's effort to bring the National Guard to Chicago.
Roseanne has more this morning on this latest setback for the Trump administration.
Well, political leaders who were opposed to the president's plan call this a victory. They say that the use of National Guard troops to support immigration enforcement was a blatant overreach. Right now, some 300 National Guard troops stationed in northern Illinois are under President Trump's control, and he wanted to deploy them to assist federal officers in immigration enforcement. But the court rejected the request. They said the government has not shown that the law permits the president to federalize the Guard to protect federal personnel and property in Illinois. Governor Pritzker called it a win for Illinois and American democracy, and some people we talked to this morning agree with him.
It's an excellent thing. I think we have a very strong governor, and he has been doing his best to try to protect the state, and we are really delighted.
Governor Pritzker said in a statement, the brave men and women of our National Guard should never be used for political theater and deserve to be with their families and communities, especially during the holidays, and ready to serve overseas or at home when called upon during times of immense need. But a White House spokesperson says that this ruling will not stop the president from enforcing immigration laws and trying to safeguard the American public. Roseanne Tejas, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Roseanne. Looks kind of cloudy out there, but there are a few glimpses of sunshine, just as we're seeing there from our view here looking south over the lakefront. Sun trying to break through some of that alto stratus cloudiness that you see. For the most part, though, next couple of days, going to be looking at a gray Christmas around here. There's really no snow left. Clouds, there's going to be some fog, drizzle, even a little bit of light rain at times through Christmas night. Temperatures, though, remain above normal, I think, through Sunday. We do get a shot of cold air early next week. It won't be too brutal, but compared with what we've had recently, it's going to be a little slap in the face. 38 and cloudy at O'Hare, east wind at 10 miles per hour, so the wind chill just about the freezing point. These are other current temperatures, 39 at the lakefront. We're up to 40 at Joliet, 37 at Kankakee, Woodstock 36, 34 Valparaiso, 33 Benton Harbor. It's cloudy and 37 degrees now at Gary. Looking at our future cast, what I'm going to show you is the approach of thicker, lower cloud cover that will eventually produce some drizzle, maybe a little light rain here this evening. And by the time Santa's flying into town, it's going to be cloudy. If I had to pick an area where I think the fog will be the thickest, I'm going I-80 and point south, but it's going to be pretty murky even into tomorrow morning. Our model thinks we could break out into some sunshine tomorrow. That would be bonus. I still think tomorrow ends up being pretty cloudy around here. And another slug of moisture comes in here tomorrow night, late into early Friday morning, but out of here shortly after 7 a.m. And nobody's getting much rain out of this. It's just going to be enough to kind of keep the pavement damp. And if you go outside, you might get a sprinkle on you. 47 or so today for the high. Thickening cloud cover, a little bit of drizzle toward evening. And then tonight, cloudy and foggy, some drizzle and or light rain at times with a low of 37. And tomorrow for Christmas, 42. Some showers coming in at night, Saturday night into Sunday. I think my numbers here, I'd go 50 on Friday and Saturday. Definitely a colder day Monday and Tuesday. That Monday might be accompanied by wind chills near 0. All right, let's look at some very nice photos. This is from my friend Kathy Daniel, usually in the Volo area, but she's visiting family in Saskatchewan. This is in the town of Unity, and they just had a little bit of light snow there. That is a gorgeous picture there, Kathy. And we have another picture from her giving us a different view there of the Canadian province there. She's not that far from Alberta, but this is out there in the prairies. That's just absolutely gorgeous. Love that fresh snow out there, Kathy. Next up is a shot from me. Last night's sky as the sun was going down in Wadsworth. We've had several sunsets like this recently where it almost looks like the sky is on fire. Finally, a photo from our own Lou Canellis. He sent me this morning. And of course, you've got Soldier Field. And look how it was kind of being lit up here by the sun coming up. Isn't that a cool shot there, Brian? Lou, thank you for sending in that photo there. You spend a lot of time at Soldier Field, and it has been a happy place lately. We'll be right back with more of Good Day, including a music video premiere from the Jersey Girls right after this.
I'm Jonathan Lawson, here to tell you
Good morning, everyone. We are here at Navy Pier, and we just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays from the Jersey Girls. We're very excited to debut here today on Fox our Christmas music video for Like Snow, Like Snow.
Take it away, Mike Caplan. Roll that video and enjoy.
All right, Daniela, Lindsay, and Deanna, I'm happy I feel like a BJ here from MTV. It is the world premiere of the Jersey Girls music video, a holiday hit in the making, Like Snow, Like Snow.
Yeah, I was telling Mike, this looks like it definitely could have been like a scene from a Netflix Christmas movie.
Yeah, like the Hallmark something. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And Deanna, the one that was wrestling with the Christmas tree, wanted to make sure everyone knew she did her own stunt work and that.
She did well.
That's good stuff, ladies. Thanks for sharing that and letting us be the channel that you chose to premiere that cool video. That was cool. That's good stuff. All right, it is the season of giving. Fox 32, PNC Bank, and the Chicago Bears are teaming up with the Greater Chicago Food Depository to help feed local families in need. You can help out. Here's all you got to do. Go online to chicagosfoodbank.org, and you can help maybe feed some folks this winter.
Menards, your destination for tools this holiday.
Mrs. Winchester. Oh, please call me Nina. Come on in. So why do you want this job?
I just really enjoy being a housemaid. For the right families, of course.
You know this is a live-in position, right? Ta-da! This is your room. What do you think?
It's perfect.
Okay, good. So would you like the grand tour?
Creepy.
Yes, I remember the original one. Something. All right, the new thriller, The Housemaid, is making waves at the box office this holiday season.
Well, Jake's book would star Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried about the film and also Sydney's rumored visit here to Chicago.
I want you to feel safe here.
I do.
Theodore.
So much of this story is about secrets. So many characters in this story have sort of their own internal secrets. And I've always wondered, like, as actors, if you come up with things about your characters, if you basically create secrets that maybe you don't tell your co-stars or you don't tell your director, like, do you create secrets for your own characters that you don't tell anybody else?
You don't really say what we're going to do in a scene. Like, I guess that's a secret in a way. Like,
yeah, on the day.
I like to surprise people on the day.
Yeah, if you have a fun idea.
Yeah.
that you think is going to provoke something
change things
interesting in a scene, it's like very, very welcome. But I never create secrets. It's a good idea though. Maybe I should. It is an interesting idea for an actor, especially if you're bored in a scene and you're just sitting in the background.
Sydney, really quick, I had a lot of friends reach out to me, and I called them morons because there's no way this is true, and said that you were at Butch McGuire's in Chicago last week.
That was from last year.
From last year, the way that went around that Sydney Sweeney is in Chicago last Wednesday.
Where?
Butch McGuire's, a great bar here in Chicago. It's a great bar. It's a great Christmas bar.
Year. I have no idea why that recirculated. I was there with my friends, and that was from last year.
We're just gonna every year. We're just gonna start the tradition.
Every year she's gonna go, and everyone's just gonna
do it first week of December.
Maybe I had to go check out that place.
That's right, exactly. Oh, The Handmaid's Tale, the original one. Oh, boy, it was a spooky one with Rebecca De Mornay. This looks like it could be a winner. All right, have you heard of Twixmas? And it does not involve Twix, the only candy with a cookie crunch. Twixmas is the days between Christmas and New Year's. Survey found the average person struggles to track time on at least 4 different occasions during the last week of December. Also, during that last week of the year, people are most likely to watch old shows, never really get out of their pajamas, and also take a lot of naps.
I wish
You
we
guilty
could
of
do all
that?
those things here on GDC, right? That'd be fun.
Oh, well, yeah.
Do the show in pajamas. I'm thinking about it at home.
I did mine in slippers yesterday. All right. While there is a favorite child, there is a most hated Christmas movie. That would be Home Alone 3. Survey.
Remember Home Alone?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. The survey also found the second most hated film is a Jim Carrey version of The Grinch. The Polar Express, Jingle All the Way, and Christmas with the Cranks in the top 5. So when your parents told you they don't have a favorite child, they lied. Yeah. The survey says 2/3 of parents do have a favorite kid, and their choice stays the same for decades. Daughters and younger siblings are the favorites, but the less favored kid tends to have bad mental health and worse family relationships.
Well, my sister is the youngest.
You're going to go with your sister being the favorite. All right. Coming up at 9:57, we'll be right but it's no, I'm not going anywhere there. We'll be right back. Happy holidays.